Hello, everyone, and welcome back to OSAS Season 12. We're on week 2 now in the first round of Swiss, and we have La Creatura versus Luminex. And I am joined by a new caster. Welcome in, Jet Secret. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, AJ?
Not doing too badly.
That's
Got a fun
great.
game coming up, and that's always
Yeah,
fun to see.
I know. I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually, I know that Luminex has been kind of doing an OSAS run for quite a while. So I think they're pretty familiar with the, playing on stream and stuff like that. But also, Striker Kuriyami is an old teammate of mine in OSAS, so I'm really excited to see what they can bring out to this.
So you've got the behind-the-scenes lore. Any notable signature picks on Striker Kuriyami?
Yeah, so normally he's known as a Rasmus player, but it would appear Luminex has kind of picked that away from him, which is going to be interesting. On a map like Demon Deus, that makes complete sense, especially in the goalie role, if that's how they're going to play it. Um, but yeah, he tends to like that pick a lot. So I'm not super certain exactly what he's going to be taking here.
What, you mean it's not going to be the Juliet goalie?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think people. I did play against Bloom the other day on Juliet goalie, but most people don't tend to take it. No, I think there's a good chance that Striker Kuriyami could be taking the Aimi here, but also the Zentaro. He does flex a lot, so we'll see how that goes.
Is nice to see the flexing around. It is going to be the Rune goalie, it seems. Fiendish TTV pulling that out. And then on the other side, it is going to be the Atlas goalie. It makes a lot of sense there. You sometimes see Atlas forward on some of these maps, especially the Demon Dias, but nice and standard overall. Rune goalie, I'm not as familiar with on this map, but I can kind of see it.
Yeah, I think it's kind of an interesting little pick, right? Because you can wall off a lot of the map there, just to make it hard to clear out as the other goalie.
But we do see all of the barriers going down very quickly. 17 seconds, no barriers on the map. Vanish comes out at the top. Striker Kuriyami getting the kill onto Rune. First blood is taken there, but no gold just yet. Bonkers' recovery drone is also taken out, so a blazing start here as La Creatura is able to take a kill and a half with the recovery drone and the goal as well within 30 seconds.
Yeah, and that's not surprising. I mean, you can see that they've kind of specced into that damage with the Siphoning Wand Zentaro, which makes total sense. So I think they'll have a lot of kill pressure, a little bit more, I think, than or damage pressure, I should say, than Tekken's team, Luminex.
Yeah. You also, though, see some damage coming out. Bonkers, very low core flip forced out from Degitos there. Not quite going to be able to getting any kills here, but it's very close. Striker Kuriyami is looking a great banish, though, from Fiendish, nicely playing up as well. Sort of switching out that goalie forward, but a secure on the barrier as well with the Aimi turret there. Comes through. Pendulum Swing, Struck War, though, 1. Striker Kuriyami seeming to be on fire today with the Strike Wars, the secondaries. They are really giving La Creatura, or they're giving Luminex a run for the money as La Creatura.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's really comfortable on this brawler pick, and I think that's showing. He is mostly a brawler player, more than a midfielder, but yeah, we can see that his brawler skills are really showing up there.
You can see on this map as well, a lot of the angles being used creatively here around that circular barrier, some behind shots, some really weird bounces off the goal, and we're going to see another goal here scored. La Creatura with a sweep for the first set, 22 seconds into that one. And Bonkers using the Era Afraid emote, the Era Embarrassed emote. But it's going to be potentially a free explosive entrance on the Zentaro. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think that that's probably the play here. I mean, there's a lot of really good stuff for them. He does go for the Spark, which is interesting. Personally, I think you leave that for your Aimi, but obviously there's a lot of preferences to how you pick that out. Spark scaling is good with the Power Spark and now the CD Spark, so it's not the worst pick in the world, but I would have liked the Explosive Entrance pick for sure.
Yeah, the advantage, though, is there is still Super Surge and Aerials both in the pool, so there's a chance to get the Dash Awakening. And, of course, Double Spark, pretty nice. On the other hand, Heckin' Tekken with the Big Fish is going to have a lot more health here, be a little harder to take down, but that really doesn't matter to this team, apparently, as they wipe out the health bar immediately.
Yeah, they do have might have a lot of damage on the side of La Creatura, which is scary, and I think that that's kind of their win con here, and Luminex needs to be aware of that. And just like that, it goes in.
Yeah. Striker Kuriyami has really been on point with these strike wars, not being too devoted to the brawl and actually taking the time to notice that the core does in fact exist. Very important skill for my brawlers out there, to just, every now and then hit the core, even if you are hitting people all over the map. Also using the secondary early just to get out of the way, because a lot of people just don't like it. Atlas ult secures the aggression so that there's no way that they can die, and it's just going to go right through the barriers, right through the goal, and La Creatura is on fire today.
Yeah, and it's looking really scary, right? Like, when you're thinking about how Luminex can take this victory and crawl back, it's not looking like there are a ton of options outside of just surviving. A great flip burn there to try to get the evade. Sadly, the core hit first, but not getting banished there is always good. Good reaction from Striker Kuriyami.
Yeah, and also good by Fiendish to find the angle on that banish to force it out, because if you don't dodge that, it's almost guaranteed you're going off the edge. But Bonkers gets the recovery drone popped again this time, a little bit further into the set, so that's good, learning those survivability skills. We're also going to see Zentaro dashing down, a lot of damage come out to Heck and Tekken. The barrier, though, still standing, nicely defended. Great anomaly there from Fiendish, gets it forward, but Slime Slinger has the core flip. Unfortunate double burn there. Though, from La Creatura, not really communicating the core flip on that one. That's also going to be Rasmus going off the map. Double banish is really nice, buys a lot of time, but Slime Slinger just bounces it around, buys so much time. The glitch pop backwards is a little unfortunate, buys time for the enemy team now as Rasmus is back in the field. A great anomaly as well. Fiendish getting the barrier, defending the barrier, is just on top of the barriers on both sides. But it's an open goal here now for Luminex, but they open it up on the other side as well. Juliet might be off the field, but this is an opportunity still. Heck and Tekken with a really nice Death's Touch and Pendulum Swing to put it in, and Luminex is on the board.
They held that so well. They survived 2 KOs, I think, in that point alone, and maybe once they can coordinate their defense a little bit more, that can be their win con and really collaborate. To kind of survive the damage a little bit better, but one barrier's already down on both sides now. So these banishes from Fiendish are looking really good. They're really making it difficult for Slime Slinger and Dougitos to really have possession, which is good, and it's really working to their favor, as we see Bonkers putting it in after quick 2 barriers.
Yeah, it was a really nice find, threading the needle between Slime Slinger and Dougitos there. Really nice to see the patience and the awareness on that one to not just hit it directly at the goalie, but trying to go around them. Great secondary as well from Fiendish there, secures the barrier. Unfortunate bounce angle there, but it does very much seem that the teams are getting warmed up. This is, of course, the first game of the tournament today, so it is always nice to see the teams. At first you're like, what's going on here? But then they start locking in. But unfortunately, Luminex is not the only one locking in. Striker Kuriyami finds the kill on Tarun there, takes him straight off the field, but can they do anything with this? A really nice stall there. Taquito's actually, unfortunately, with the glitch pop, and an unfortunate strike setup there means Bonkers actually gets the barrier. Open goal here. Heck and Tekken on the defense. The strike shot is burned a little bit, but the Oni's blade is as well. Bonkers looking for the kill onto Zentaro. The dash comes out, a lot of damage potentially, but dodged out of the way, just moved by Heck and Tekken. Really nice positioning on that one. Is going to use the pendulum swing, is going to use the strike, is going to use the core flip there at the bottom, and that's 3 goals here for Luminex, who come back, and it's not quite a sweep. It's 3-2. But it's still really nice to see they're on the board for sets, and it's going to be Rasmus with that well-deserved MVP.
Yeah, I mean, it was looking very scary for Luminex there, but they managed to, with some really strong defense, come out on top. This draft does look a little scary. You have the Spark, which gets denied away. The Heavy Impact naturally falls. You have Deadeye, Stinger, which are all really good picks to deal damage right into La Creatura's win conditions. So it's going to be scary. They are getting on Luminex that survivability of Reptile Remedy, which is good, but it does still really seem a little scary. They just need to survive.
Yeah, really unfortunate that Rasmus is the one that has to deny the Spark of Leadership because he didn't take that Spark of Strength off the start. And that's an instant recovery drone pop there. Almost answered back, but Taquito's used a really nice evade and was covered as well by the Celestial Intervention there. Striker Kuriyami getting knocked away from the core as well. Bonkers on the bottom here trying to get the setup, but just going to stall out behind. The strike shot is used. Taquito's trying to go for a cheeky back pass, but unfortunately was a cheeky own goal or own barrier, and pays the price for that one is going to get knocked off by the dash punch. Tekken passes it back. They're buying a lot of time here for Dagitos to get back on the field, which I don't necessarily love. And Tekken, I think, trying to go for a bounce off the bottom maybe, but unfortunate setup there. Both teams making a few errors.
Yeah, I mean, everyone just kind of got thrown right off the map, and then an unfortunate secondary from Fiendish into the unfortunate primary from Tekken secured that point for La Creatura, but they were looking pretty good that point up until then, so...
Yeah, they get a double barrier as well off rip there. Really nice to see. Fiendish, unfortunately, a little too patient on that strike, is going to lose the barrier for it. Core Flip gets a kill out of Slime Slinger. Really nice to see that. And that's Julie off the field for 7 more seconds. Glitch Pop or Cyber Stripe comes through. Core Flip actually pass it right back to Dagitos, and the EI Rush from Striker Kuriyami is going to send it straight through into the goal. And once again, La Creatura is looking to sweep another set.
There was a really good coordination in that corner between Striker Kuriyami and Dagitos to secure that last barrier, which I really liked, which was Striker Kuriyami threw it right into the corner, knowing that Dagitos had that dash to come in and strike and take that barrier and really mix up Fiendish. So that was really good to see. Really smart play from both of them.
Yeah, love to see that kind of teamwork, relying on your teammates, and it's actually going to be a kill there, set up and executed in the end. Striker Kuriyami getting the killing blow. And as well, a lot of damage onto Rasmus. Might have to burn the Core Flip soon. And Juliet was actually the one that picked up that Reptile Remedy, so no healing there for the Rasmus. Nice Death's Touch, though, gets the barrier, sacrifices the entire health bar for it, just about. Striker Kuriyami is looking for the kill, gets the kill, flip, and gets the barrier with it as well. Glitchtrap comes up to the top, pass down, nicely executed by La Creatura. You'll love to see that one. Throwing his Glitchtrap a little too high, but it was just a pass down to Zentaro. Almost said Kazan, but Kuriyami.
Yeah. We've been talking a lot. There's the Super Surge, which may very well be the pickup. There is Spark of Agility as well, which is both really good picks here for both of them. And there goes, of course. We've been kind of talking a lot about Striker Kuriyami's play and the pressure that he's putting on, but I do want to point out that Dagitos' dash strikes on the Aimi have been really on point, and just making sure that their presence on this map has just been known and felt by the other team. So even though the levels are there's huge level discrepancies, but Dagitos is definitely doing their part to make sure that they're winning these points.
Yeah, and I mean, especially with that Super Surge, it's going to be a lot more presence, but also felt is the presence of Luminex getting a double barrier right at the beginning, coming back. Great passing play. You'll love to see that. If you are watching and you are wondering how to pass around, that right there is what you do. You pass that zigzag, is beautiful every time it works. It just breaks the ankles of the opponents when it's executed perfectly like that. You'll love to see it.
It's really well done from all of them. Unfortunate up clear or left clear on our screen from Slime Slinger to go right into the Pendulum Swing, and just like that, it's 2 barriers down and a quick point. Well done by Bonkers and Luminex. They're really pulling this one together. I think it's looking, I don't know, dangerous for La Creatura at this point.
Yeah, Luminex definitely does seem like the kind of 2-set or 2-point comfort zone team where they really just seem to lock in when it matters. The same, though, can be said on the flip side, where when they don't feel like it does, then it doesn't. But I think it matters now. 3-0 sweep there. Really nicely done by Luminex, locking in here, taking us to a set 5 for the first game. I was worried at first, but they really are doing wonders, and that's an opportunity there. Now, Atlas does get either Twin Drive or Extra Special or Hot Shot, but Julia can at least deny one of those or just pick up the 1-2 punch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the 1-2 punch and the build different, I was just going to say, great picks. That can be a lot of pressure in the face of the Atlas. The Twin Drive is, of course, really scary to face. Not as good as it once used to be, perhaps, but still extremely strong. And the Rune getting prime time is really scary as well on the other side. So goalies are eating well, I'll say. So I think that's what it's going to come down to, is how well the goalies can keep their barriers.
Yeah, and especially on a map like Demon Dice, that can be so difficult. Great Oni's Blade as well to evade the banish there, not having to dedicate the energy to it, and can build that up. Dash Punch almost getting the secure. but not quite enough damage. Does get a barrier on the backside of it with a really nice bounce. Fiendish running backwards, trying to get up, but the the cyber swipe from Dagitos is able to secure one barrier. Second one on the other side, though, Heckin Tekken finds that one. Strike shot whiffs. Dash goes forward, goes back up to Dagitos, but an anomaly is in the way, and with this Monumentalist Primetime, it can be so difficult to get through that, but they do, in the end. Can they get the secure? The glitch drop is a little wide, unfortunately, and it's going to be almost put in. Great defense there by Slime Slinger. Coreflip comes out past Striker Kuriyami, gets it around the Death Touch. Coreflip forced out of Atlas, not quite going to find the clear. Permanently goes for a bit of a Soren angle there. Glitch pop interrupt is attempted there as well. Slime Slinger passing forward. They're trying to get it through this midfield, and they finally do in the end. The Ivy turret as well is nice, but they can't get it through. At the end of all that, it goes back to the other side. Bonkers trying to set something up on the bottom, and one of the Atlas secondaries is used there as well. We are deep into overtime, and it's going to go in off the top. Unfortunately, Fiendish whiffing the strike shot, which can be so difficult with that sudden acceleration of the core.
Yeah, this is sort of the point where at this level, strike shot becomes kind of risky, right? Because the core speed starts changing quite a bit in these, like, 0.5 or set 5 matches, that it can be really uncomfortable to try to time it if you're not careful. And a very quick point from La Creatura with Striker Kuriyami securing it with the flip. Yeah, I don't know. How do you think Luminex comes back from this for this final reverse 3?
I mean, with the IME prizefighter stacks being knocked out with that nice kill find by Bonkers, they might find something. Great strike warring as well is amazing to see that the barrier still stands. They still have one left there. A lot of damage on the Rasmus is a little unfortunate if you're a fan of Luminex, and the core flip just kind of goes straight across and back, so it doesn't, just buys a little bit of time and doesn't get too much done. Death Touch goes out to try and block a side clear there, or a back clear, but they get one barrier. The second one still not found by either team on either side. Oni's Blade gets the recovery drone off of Rasmus, and that is huge, because even if Luminex starts to try a reverse sweep, it's not going to quite go their way when that's off the table. Second barrier is found by Striker Kuriyami, and this could be it for La Creatura. The core flip is diffused for now. Cyber Swipe, Glitch Pop comes out, as well as the primary from Zentaro. They use everything there to secure the goal and secure the game. La Creatura, in the face of Luminex's almost reverse sweep, comes through and comes out swinging. They are able to secure their first victory of the day.
Yeah, I mean, it was really interesting how well Fiendish was able to pilot this rune, right? They really managed to, make these clutch saves, play some really good pillars, and I think that was a big thing keeping them in this game, in the face of all that damage, right?
Yeah, it can be so tough to play against the damage, especially on Demon Dias, where it's such a small map that you're just around damage 24/7. Doesn't really matter. Like, Zentaro didn't take the Dash Awakenings, but he didn't need them because he had all the sparks, all the speed from the Spark of Agility, and he was just able to be where he needed to be regardless of not having a Dash Awakening. And in the end, La Creatura took a really good game, but I gotta say, that first set from La Creatura was amazing. And I thought for a second that it was just going to be a wipe all the way through, but Luminex, to their credit, didn't let that get to them and showed a tremendous resolve there to keep playing, keep fighting, take it all the way to that set 5. So I got to give them credit there as well. But gonna have a lot more to see later on. Don't yap for too long, because we will have more matches coming up. See y'all in a little bit.
Hello, everyone. We are back with OSAS Week 2, watching a game of Omega Strikers between Platinum Horde and Shrimp and Shrimpers. And I'm here with AJ Cannon. AJ?
How's it going? Going to be a pretty fun match. A little bit of lore for you. If these team names sound familiar, or if this match sounds familiar, this is actually one of the matches in the bracket last time. They did face each other, and the victor that time was the Shrimp and Shrimpers. So if the Platinum Horde is looking to fight back against that one, they might have done some practice during the week, and I'm kind of excited to see what happens. One of the things, though, is Platinum Horde does get the IME, so that'll be chicken tendies, I believe, on that. And personally, if I am going up against the Platinum Horde, I am pick banning IME away almost every time away from that player because chicken tendies ran to into the queues a while ago. They're pretty darn good at that IME.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the opening awakenings are going to be kind of really interesting here because we do have the extra special, which, IME players do like. Estelle likes it. Even Rasmus, Dubu, like everyone really likes that awakening most of the time. But we also have the Among Titans, which can often be a huge disadvantage, right?
Yeah. But now, if I was in a ranked game and I saw these awakenings, I would expect everyone to take Among Titans because it's Aten City, it's a very big map, it's nice to have that speed, very core control focused. Even as tempting as the extra special is, I think it just goes unpicked. But especially in OSAS, especially with like Dubu and Estelle and IME available, that just makes such good use of that. I think there might actually be some pickups, which means we might have something like a very large Rasmus, and we might see something where Rasmus and Taro take the extra special, and then Estelle is on the Among Titans. And on the other side, honestly, I would say triple Among Titans is the best for that team, because if IME takes the Among Titans and then Dubu and Asher don't, they're very slow on a very big map, and also IME small, which is just sad.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. But I also noticed, like, with the bans, we are seeing that Luna ban, which I think means that that Platinum really kind of like values the extra special pick here.
Yeah, definitely agree with that one. Unless they're expecting some sort of massive Luna play where, which is always fun. Size Luna never to be underestimated, but also extra special on Luna as well. Pretty nice. So I can see them banning it. I can definitely understand why they might want to not deal with a massive Luna taking extra special. But we are going to see once we get into the game in a little bit what the actual things are. But it is going to be Rasmus on the goalie, interestingly enough. Generally, I would have expected something like the Estelle on the goalie with a more of a double brawler Rasmus midfield kind of situation. But especially with the 6 Among Titans in the game, everyone is going to be very fast and very speedy. So it doesn't really matter too much where everyone is because they're going to be rotating a whole lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I quite like the Rasmus pick on this map. He's got enough mobility and has the ability to kind of push up and cause havoc if you can get a little more speed, right? Your hook kind of covers a lot, so that's really, really good. I quite like Rasmus on this map.
Yeah, now, I also like Estelle, the piercing shot there, almost getting it, and reaching level 2 with the Crystal Thorns used to dribble the core at the top, really nicely done, and it's going to be Brexon putting it in. First goal here scored by the Shrimp and Shrimpers, who don't even lose their barrier, which on Aten City of all maps is pretty impressive. So really well done by the Shrimp and Shrimpers. And I'm looking forward to see the Platinum Horde, how they face against that, because that's not a great way to start a game, and it can get to people.
Yeah, I mean, looking at... I've forgotten the team names. Looking at the blue team. Mm-hmm. They have a lot more mobility, right? Like, they have the Estelle, which has, like, a lot of range, a lot of control. They have Zentaro, which with a Dash Awakening is going to become, really oppressive. And like I said, the Rasmus can really walk up and has that speed to play with. So, I really do think Aten favors their comp. And we're seeing, 2 quick points, very quick barriers coming out from them.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The comp here from the Shrimp and Shrimpers on that blue team it's just such a good comp for the map. The ability to dash around all over the place and be so mobile is not to be underestimated there. Oni's Blade as well being used. Great somersault, though, from Jiggle Supreme on that Dubu. Is able to save the barrier for a little bit, but walks a little bit too far forward as well, and that is the one problem with the speed from Among Titans. It makes mispositioning so much easier, because if you don't pay attention for half a second, you're that much further away from where you should be. The Cyber Swipe Glitch Pop combo evaded away from Kitten Ruler. Nicely done there, but also nice find there from Chicken Tendies to even try and go for it. The barrier from Hop the Frog as well, not quite finding it, but burning the flip from Steam Whistle is amazing. The Glitch Pop finds the barrier as well, and finally it is the open goal here. Shrimp and Shrimpers in danger of losing a point here as we have Hop the Frog and Chicken Tendies passing to each other. Great Death Touch though, hooks the Imi out of the way, passes all the way up, but the intercept though is really nice. Hop the Frog on the bottom here trying to get it through, but the Whiplash from Rasmus, it was solid defense. Kitten Ruler trying to get it forward, trying to get it around, but the Soren angle, unfortunately for Jiggle Supreme, Kitten Ruler ignores the Soren angle and just piercing shots the Goldie and the core in together.
Yeah, I mean, Jiggle Supreme is really thinking about these evade clears, which is really great to see. Sadly, they kind of used their energy burst a little early there to evade it. So they didn't have it for the Soren. So looking at the draft, we've got the Estelle picking up the aerials, which is, of course, can be very oppressive, and a really good pick with nothing else. Super amazing, though. Fight or Flight. Falling to the Zentaro can be really scary as well, because they have that mobility and they have that speed advantage. And I think that's going to be really hard for this very slow Asher to kind of play with.
Yeah, and the Asher falling down to not great options at the end there, you know, Missile Prop or Prize Fighter on City as Asher, not really ideal. Timeless Creator is fine, but it's definitely not a top pick on Asher. Does pay dividends there, though, securing the barrier really nicely set up by Hop the Frog and Chicken Tendies there. Jiggle Supreme goes for a dribble, but Kitten Ruler is on top of things with this Crystal Thorn as well. Brighton with the primary, getting the hit stun on Jiggle Supreme with the core really nicely set up and executed. And Steam Whistle with the Bongoni emote. I gotta love him now. It's basically in my contract that if I see that emote, I'm just legally required to support you. So now a fan of the Shrimp and Shrimpers.
It is a very good emote. One of I think a fan favorite for sure. I think what's kind of interesting as well, looking at Jiggle Supreme, on this Dubu is a pick that's kind of fallen a little bit out of favor, which is an unfortunate misroll. Dubu players know, and that'll just be the second point right there for Shrimp and Shrimpers.
Yeah, really nicely found by Brighton on that passive as well, because if he didn't actually hit that passive, Chicken Tendies actually did Glitch Pop up there, or sorry, not Glitch Pop, it did Cyber Swipe up there, and was about to clear it and save that. Speaking of saving, great defense there, Jiggle Supreme in that very tight corner against a core flip, manages to keep the barrier alive, goes for an evade save there as well in case a piercing shot was coming, but unfortunately didn't have the energy there that time. Great attempts at some Cyber Swipe strikes as well. Glitch Pop comes out, passes around. Rose Warp is nice to get it around, but they actually lose control for a little bit. Core Flip is forced out. Firewall Sentry comes as well. The Tofu Fortress is deployed. The Oni's Blade as well at the top of the screen. The Whiplash is used. So many abilities being used, but they're not quite getting the connections they need. Core Flip there, really nice by Chicken Tendies, but the primary Bryson finding a great stop on the core there with the first part of it. Even had the passive to secure it just in case, but not going to need it, as that is the third point in another set going to the Shrimp and Shrimpers. Platinum Horde kind of reeling in this one, especially as Intaro gets explosive entrance.
Yeah, that explosive entrance is going to be, I think, kind of the nail in the coffin for Platinum Horde. It just gives him so much control that he really lacks without any dash trainings. The Dubu finding the extra special that we forgot about, which is going to be useful. You know, especially with the strike shot, which does give you that extra range, I think extra special. If Jiggle Supreme can walk up a little bit more and just wall off the center of the map and make it harder for them to get the core out, that could be a really good condition to sort of take barriers faster. But as I say that, they sort of lose the barrier really quickly, which is really unfortunate, but get one back on the other side.
Yeah. And goal secured by Platinum Horde, the first in the set. Nicely done. Hop the Frog using the ult there, not holding anything back and just investing it all. Wisely done as well, just gets it out of the way, secures it, and you love to see that. One of the things that I do want to talk about, which I think is a bit of a misdraft, is this Adrenaline Rush pick on the Imi when Heavy Impact was up, and especially on Auten City, where you're not going to have it. Unfortunate Rose Warp, though, excuse me, sends it backwards and actually sets up the barrier going down. So open goal on both sides. Toph Fortress counters the piercing shot. Dribble trying to go around the Estelle. Chicken Tendy's trying to find a glitch pop, stuns up the Zentaro. The Death Touch moves the Asher closer to the goal, but it's not quite going to go anywhere. So many abilities invested now, and that's going to be the core going all the way back and around. Jiggle Supreme, unfortunately, a little too late on the dash there. Didn't have too many options, and it goes in, tying up the score.
Yeah, that can be so tough. And again, like this strike shot pick, which is, I was trying to say, it's a little out of favor right now on the Dubu with Pauldrons and Momentum Boots kind of being more popular, I think. Really doesn't help Jiggle Supreme with that, like walking up, but don't need to if you have an Asher who has an ultimate.
Yeah, and the ability usage here from the Platinum Horde has been really good when they have them up. But of course, now both of those major cooldowns, the Firewall Sentry and the Path Splitter, are not going to be up for quite a while here. So this is an opportunity for the Shrimp and Shrimpers to actually secure. And great save there by Steam Whistle, finds the barrier. Core Flip comes out as Zentaro is going to leave it up for a while. Glitch Pop almost finds Estelle, going to force the Core Flip out with the barrier beam from Asher. Oni's Blade is used, passive is up as well, going to use it to reposition down to the bottom. Crystal Thorns comes up at the top. Roll saves at the last second, nicely found by Jiggle Supreme there. Chicken Tendy's trying to go for the pass to the Asher, but it's dribbled around. Great flip from Dubu over to the Asher, up to the top, into the barrier. Pass from the Aimi up into the Asher, who sends it through, not even having to use the core flip. It did get that right at the last second from that last strike. And really nice ability usage there. Platinum Horde not out of it yet, ready to come all the way back from behind and potentially ready to take some really nice things on this Asher.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, in some ways, the Glass Cannon is really helping the Asher deal with those mobility issues quite a bit. Opting for size here and letting stacks fall is a little scary. Stacks is really good on Aten City. And also letting the Spark of Agility fall to the Zentaro may very well nullify my point right there. But size, you're happy with on Asher. The Cast to Last on Dubu, also very good. It's not the worst draft in the world. Some damage on the Aimi, but the speed is going to be, I think, make or break.
Yeah, it absolutely can be, but the extra bit of size on this Asher can also be very make or break. So that Firewall Sentry coming up at the top as well. Jiggle Supreme going for this corner clear, really nicely done, actually going all the way around the Estelle. Just did not expect that play to happen, and Chicken Tendies finds the clear through this duo of Bryson and Kitten, which have been so difficult at times. The Glitch Drop the Cyber Swipe comes out. Glitch Drop down at the bottom there. Pass Spitter countered by a core flip. Strike Shot picks up the core, gets it forward, and unfortunately, Steam Whistle was a little bit too, got the positioning a little bit wrong on that ultimate. It's going to allow the barrier to fall and eventually Asher to send it right through into the goal. And again, so many of these teams seem like that 2-point comfort zone. It gets to that 2 sets or 2 points, and then they just lock in. They start playing so much better, like it's not even the same team at times. And they're just locking the core down, defending everything. That Tofu Fortress was amazing as well. They kill onto the Estelle as well to reset the stacks on stacks. Core flip forced out, does get the barrier, is really nice find by Bryson there. The drop comes out though, and Cyber Swipe forces out a core flip from the Rasmus. Dash down, but the strike war is won by Jiggle Supreme there. Pass up, Rose warped away. Now a very low Asher here on the other side of the field. Kitten really looking to put it through with the Crystal Thorns, but the Somersault stalls the core. Two Fortress well, and Cyber Swipe used so well here from the Platinum Horde.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing from them. Even though their comp, I think, is not as favorable, they're really making it work, and I'm really happy with what I'm seeing from, honestly, both of these teams, but especially the Platinum Horde and their comeback.
Yeah, it is a really nice beginning of the comeback here. Dubu does die, and Bryson does get the secure there. Was just a switch in the game there as well. Like, as soon as one person dies, it can really enable a team, and with no goalie in the goal box, and very importantly, Bryson not having to invest the core flip there, has it now available for the rest of this point. Gonna use the Two Fortress there to block the barrier, almost a kill onto Kitten Ruler there, making use of all that extra power, but not quite gonna find a glitch drop though, does find the barrier, piercing shot does find a lot of damage on the Asher. She almost puts it through, but it is struck war in the end by Steam Whistle. Bryson dribbling across the top really nice, but interrupted by the strike shot. Crystal Thorns comes out. Chicken Tendy going up to the top with the Cyber Swipe. Gets it all the way to the bottom, and a whiffed strike from Steam Whistle. Unfortunately for the Shrimp and Shrimpers, does put the Platinum Horde 1 point away from another set.
Hey, we've all been there, right? We've all had our whiff strikes in OSAS. It's only the second round. You can bounce back. It's only not even the final point, so you've got time to bounce back. But that's a very unfortunate way to lose that point there.
Nice pass there from Chicken Tendies as well. Gets it all the way to Hop the Frog. The Cyber Swipe as well. Bit of an unfortunate pass there to the Estelle, but Strike Wars are won in the end. And it doesn't matter if you make a couple of mistakes. If you're just better and you win those crucial Strike Wars, good evade save as well. A little bit too safe, but it was nice just in case something happened. Firewall Sentry deploy is really nicely done, but a great clear by Steam Whistle, and Kitten Ruler actually keeps the point alive. But not alive is the Rasmus. Nice Cyber Swipe, finds him, sends him off the map. Oni's Blade tries to buy a little bit of time, but now it is an Estelle in front of the goal with an Asher right in front, and that is going to be Chicken Tendies to secure the goal. Rose Orb, a little bit too late, unfortunately, but I love to see the vision.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing the sort of the bulk up and the big fish coming in on the IME to secure a lot of those kills, which is really good, and being rewarded with the Super Surge, which is a really good deny from. I guess the Zentar already has Explosive Vengeance, but it is what you want on IME anyways, so that's really good. The team player, do you think that's more of a deny on the Dubu? I would expect so.
I think it is, because otherwise I would probably take Hotshot there.
Yes.
But I definitely think it's still really good on midfield as well. Not quite as good as on goalie, of course, but still plenty good enough. And with Steam Whistle getting that hot shot on the Rasmus, I think he's also quite happy with the extra power on the Pauldrons and the heavy impact. He's probably going to be red cording with the Pendulum Swing. But the barrier does go down here, nicely found by the Shrimp and Shrimpers, but also by the Platinum Horde as they almost get another goal very quickly there, but it is defended really nicely. Kitten Ruler running up to the top here, almost getting Cyber Swiped off the map. Glitch Pop as well, a lot of damage on this Estelle, but not enough to get the kill, so no resets here for that Adrenaline Rush. And we're going to see a Glitch Pop self-pass dribble, really nicely done by Chicken Tendies there. But the pass here from Breakson to Kitten Ruler. Crystal Thorns defended, really nice log, and that is a core flip taken off the field, nicely found by Chicken Tendies. The Death Touch comes out as well. Hop the Frog up at the top. The Firewall Sentry in the middle. The core flip invested by Breakson, stalling it out 3 seconds until this Estelle is back on the field. But nothing found just yet. Cyber Swipe forces out a core flip and a kill here onto Steam Whistle. So much taken off the field, so much reset. But the goal is not scored yet. 4 seconds until Rasmus is back on the field. Can they stall long enough?
It seems like no. It seems like the answer is no. A little hard with an Asher ult, and a flip in your face. Super savable.
Super savable indeed. Unfortunately for the Shrimp and Shrimpers, that is another goal here. And this is the last set, whoever wins it. Core flip invested by Chicken Tendies there, a little bit too early there, doesn't get around. Good defense there by Kitten Ruler being aware of it, and Jiggle Supreme unfortunately does lose the barrier there as well. Glitch Pop does interrupt the pass angles though, which is really nice. Struck War 1 as well. Jiggle Supreme has really been good at these so many times, but that one lost Strike War is all it takes. They won so many, but Breakson wins the one crucial one against Chicken Tendies there, unfortunately for the Platinum Horde. But we are tied up exactly 2 sets to 2 sets and 1 point to 1 point.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting to see how close this is with Shrimp and Shrimpers goalie being only level 6 and the Asher also only being level 6. It's clearly a midfield game, is what we're seeing.
Yeah, and I think that is what you kind of expect from Atna City to a certain extent. Great core flip as well from Jigstream. Great angle as well, and that to get it straight to the Asher. That's a difficult one to hit. Another kill onto Steam Whistle is going to mean that the cooldowns on IME are reset once again, but they stall out the point. They lose control of the core, and Bryson is not going to let that slide. Goalie down doesn't matter if you're just on the other side of the field with the core, and I think that was a little bit of a misplay, unfortunately, from the Platinum Horde that just kind of, they were too scared of Bryson, and for good reason. He's been putting in the work all game, but giving up the control of the core like that is never a good thing. They do, however, do a ton of damage to him this time and take a barrier right off the bat. The Strike Shot does whip, but the log does not. Chicken Tendies running over there, but the Rose Warp does get the barrier. Core flip countered by Crystal Thorns. Piercing Shot does not find the angle. Glitch Pop finds the bottom. The core flip from Bryson is whiffed, unfortunately, there. Hop the Frog going down to the bottom, trying to set it up for this IME to put it in. Struck War 1. Struck War lost there, unfortunately, for the Platinum Horde. Unfortunately, I was just going to praise Kitten Ruler for the great Strike War wins, but then the core flip is whiffed, and you can tell the stress getting to these players. One more point is enough to secure the game and basically guarantee them a spot in the bracket. but it is not going to go right now. They still have to play it out just a little bit more. Hop the Frog did also work up to that core flip. So many abilities being used. The Tofu Forge on the bottom of the map. Passive not enough to get it through. The barrier beam comes out as well. Hop the Frog in front of the goal with the core flip. Not necessary. Chicken Tendies with a great cyber swipe. Gets the hit stun on Steam Whistle with the core as well. And that's a difficult one, even if you have the energy to evade save, to even see that coming.
Yeah, if you can, I mean, if they can just capitalize on these plays by Chicken Tendies and these KOs by Chicken Tendies, then I think this last point will be easy with that flip on Hop the Frog. But I say that, and they already lose a barrier just like that. A defensive flip coming out from Hop, Chicken Tendies up to Hop, and the red core from Rasmus taking it all the way to the other end.
Nicely found there by Jiggle Supreme, and even better found, though, Brykson using the dash into the primary there, securing the goal even without the core flip for extra style points. Really close game. Once again, I was getting a little worried for the Platinum Horde, but they did come back in the end. And unfortunately, though, for them, it is another loss to the Shrimp and Shrimpers. Almost redeemed themselves from last week, but they unfortunately weren't able to win by one single goal was all it would have taken just to get them back on that. But they fall in the end, but they're not over yet. There is a chance to come back, and we might even see them dueling for a finale spot later on.
Yeah, I would love to see these teams rematch. I think the way that Steam Whistle and Jiggle Supreme were handling their positions, I was really impressed with by both of them. Very different picks, but really interesting play from both of them. But I think the biggest problem was the biggest killer was Breakson getting that point. I think it was the second to last point there. After Steam Whistle died to Chicken Tendies, and that can be so disheartening when you're, on a power play and you get scored on. That can just be game ending so close to the end, and I think that might have played a little bit into what we just saw.
Yeah, I think that absolutely is part of the equation there. But Platinum Horde putting up a fight with what we both agreed on was not an optimal Otten City comp, but I think it was a lot of comfort for them, and that does go a long way. We saw a lot of good things from both teams, and we're going to see a whole lot later on from them and others. But first, a short break. See y'all later. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We have Pillow Pilled and Smooth Groove Syndicate fighting to secure their bracket spots in the round 3 of Swiss. What do you think about this game?
I think it's interesting. Clarion Corp is one of those really fun maps that really supports a lot of different play styles. With Hotshot and Extra Special as well. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what's getting picked and how they're going to be playing.
Yeah, especially with that Luna pick. Most likely going to be extra special, but honestly, I've been loving extra Hotshot recently because it's just so easy to get red cores. So might see something funky there. Kai era as well. So blue team, I feel like is going to favor Hotshot a little bit more than the extra special. But again, extra special is just universally so good that it really can go either way.
Yeah, it's interesting that blue team here has that sort of like they have a really good pool for goalies. Like all of these characters can be played in the goal box, and also can make use of both hotshot and extra special. So I think that that'll be really interesting to see how those characters are being flexed. And I kind of really like that comp in general.
Mhm. Yeah, and it is seeming like it's going to be the Kai on the goalie from the lock-in here. So Kai goalie with Luna forward, Era forward. Definitely not a team comp I would really pick myself. I don't personally like it, but I can see it being very, very powerful if you're able to navigate the problem that is Luna forward. Because if you overcommit, then you're basically over. But if Cannonball can make it work, then I think it really is quite powerful.
Yeah, to be clear, when I say I like the comp, I like it from a fun standpoint. I think it's a really fun comp, a comp that I would play with some of my past teammates. One who perhaps really enjoys Luna Brawler. We're sort of yeah. So I think like this is a comp that I could totally see myself playing probably on the Era goalie these days, but with extra special and with hotshot going any way that we want to go on any of these characters, I think it's going to make for a really interesting game. Likely going to see the Asher goalie would be my guess. Though Drakkar goalie could be interesting as well. But the double brawler does feel a little odd of a pick if it does go that way.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, Clarion Corp or Clarion Test Chamber can be a fun double brawler map depending on the variant. Some of them you just kind of get cooked on. But there are a couple variants where it is nice to have that extra power. Especially I'm thinking of the Era variant where it has that orb in the middle, being able to fight over that and control the choke points. Really nice. But one of the things that, I'm noticing looking at this draft is there's no mention of in picks or bans, no Rune and no Juno, which tend to be pretty commonly picked here just for their creation's ability to really control a lot of the map variants.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point that I didn't even notice. Yeah, those are the hotshot picks. Like those are like generally the ones you ban. If you see hotshot, they're kind of either permabanned or at least one of them gets picked. So you're right. I think that is quite interesting. I'm really still very interested to see how this Luna is going to pick. Like, do they go hotshot, which I think is a very popular goalie pick, especially I don't know so much about Brawler, but is a very cheeky one. But if they lean into more damage and more kill pressure and things like that, the extra special is really, really good on that end as well.
Yeah, I think as forward Luna, it's almost definitely going to be the extra special. The ability to just energy tax. And I think even on goalie, I would still probably take extra special over hotshot, but that would be a little bit closer. But just the ability to energy tax basically 24/7, every single set, you just tax an energy bar from everyone, you just nuke them right off the start. Or, get a little more creative with it. But we're going to see some strikes coming out here, a lot of abilities being used, but some good defense here from Yui on the Asher there, but does lose one barrier there. Still only the first one. No lightning blitzes here. Double, though, as soon as I say something about it, Slendermon does take a double barrier. Yui goes for a own barrier dribble here. It actually does get it to the Juliet, so it was kind of a nice angle that was found. But I think it was a little bit of an overcook there as Cannonball's able to see the open goal and do Luna things and dash strike straight through the Asher. Nicely found and nicely timed on that strike.
Yeah, it's easy to forget that Asher goalie isn't a big fan of open nets. I think that's easy to forget. So unfortunate to lose your barrier like that, but hopefully they can come back. And they do with that Juliet KO, which is exactly what you want to see from that character.
Yeah, but in the negative power play, they actually do lose a barrier there, and Sundermon is looking to try and gets the top barrier, but now Era's back on the field. Core Flip is invested, waited out, and actually nicely timed. Good patience there to just get the second barrier as well. But no energy bar here, and a little bit of health lacking as well. Some damage being pumped into the Juliet there. Giga Blast even going to be used. NATO, though, goes across the top instead of for the Julie, so not going to get the kill just yet. Core Flip, though, comes out blocked by Asher. Nicely done. Shotgun goes a little bit short. The dash comes out of Cannonball, but it's not quite enough to get it past all the way. Hostar, though, does have the Core Flip in the back there, is not going to use it, is going to there, and a little bit of a panic after getting dash punched by the Juliet. A little bit unfortunate to see it wasted a little bit there, but I can definitely understand the feeling of not wanting to be killed. Great Molten Bolt, though, from Sencho does actually send it all the way straight through into the goal with that hot shot. I think that's a pretty good pickup on the Drakkar, just because the ability to send things flying is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting to see as well that there are two hot shots on their side and no hot shots on the other side. With Asher and Drakkar both taking the hot shot, which is, I find the Asher pick really surprising. But we're seeing they lose two barriers quite quickly, and the Lunar Rocket just sinks it in with Flip, not really what you want to see.
Yeah, I don't think that Yui was expecting that one, and definitely it can be a little tough to keep track of that little Lunar Rocket, especially if you're looking, the core's coming at you, so as a goalie you're like, oh, where can I put this core, where are my forwards, how can I pass it to them? But you are completely not paying attention to where this tiny little rocket is, so it just comes out of nowhere sometimes. But coming out of nowhere is another dash punch. Great find there by Slendermon as they find another barrier, but only one for now. Hostar getting close to the edge there. Does know there's no dash punch, but was even closer, maybe like a core flip punch to come out there. Shotgun used. Great dodge from the Asher there as well to not get nuked off the side of the map. And keeps both bears alive for quite a long time here. We're not seeing either of them go down just yet. Passplitter as well keeps it forward. I do love this rotation, though, between Hostar and Nice Try Guy, as Kai runs up and then Era kind of takes his place in the goal box.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what you want to see from them. We see Slendermon taking out the Era again, which is kind of a little bit of Slendermon's win con here, but answered right back by Cannonball with the Luna Rocket. And a flip kill from Slendermon.
Yeah, playing a little bit too close to the edge was the Luna, and the punch core flip comes out. I talked about it a little bit earlier, but it's a surprising amount of knockback there. Pretty much comparable to a dash punch, which is a little bit less lead up because you don't see the dash coming, so it's just punch, flip, dead. Molten Bolt doesn't hit the core, but does hit the Era, slowing her and doing a fair bit of damage. Kai running all the way forward with the barrage, but used a little bit too early, pulls back as well. This is a Mom Boots Kai, so every time he runs forward, there's no teleport back. But there also isn't a duration on how far he can run forward, so a bit of a give and take on that one. But is nice to see Hostar not being all the way in the back with that. Juliet does get the center orb, but does pay for it with half of the health bar. Gets Trunk back down as well. Ult comes out and goes up to the top, and nicely found with the last tick of that center orb buff. There was just a tiny bit of time between the Bewitching Beam wearing off and the Arrow Orb in the middle still being active, where the ult just got so big and still had that extra power, so really nice to see.
Yeah, and I think the Juliet is really kind of showing how powerful this character is. Slendermon's really piloting it well and showing that really does feel like their win con, right? Like they really want this Juliet to come online and get these kills, and with the right awakenings they can to just sort of take it.
Yeah, we do see, though, a barrier going down there, open goal for the Snatcher. We were talking about that earlier. Great passing play as well from Cannonball and Nice Try Guy there. Sencho going across the bottom here, trying to get into the flurry from Juliet, but it's not perfectly placed. The flurry sends it up to the top. Demon Angle is missed by the Luna, but is getting the goal off of the recovery on the dash there. So nicely found right there by the Pillow Pilled as they send it all the way through.
Yeah, and we have Luna getting the MVP with specialized extra special online. That can be a little scary, but also, if you take that, the 1-2 punch does fall to the Juliet, if they so please, which can also be really scary and plays directly into Slendermon's win con. So that is how it's going to go. We'll see if that really pays off for them here.
Yeah. Seeing that 1-2 punch on that Julie is a little bit frightening, especially with how many dash punches have already occurred. The fight or flight is nice to be able to run around, but that size Drakkar too, that can be surprisingly, you don't hear as much about the size Drakkar, but definitely is potent, especially the ability to win a strike war with the size and then have the shotgun to back it up rather than using a strike war to win just means you get one extra ability to send it through. But speaking of send it through, we have almost a barrier going down, but not a perfect angle found. Cannonball K, though, does find the answer on the other side. One barrier for the Smooth Groove Syndicate there. Almost two, but a nice barrier beam is going to stall it out for a little bit, but Cannonball is really just going all in here. Gets both the barriers, almost sends it in with the tornado there from Era. We see so much damage coming out from that specialized training extra special combo. Slenderman trying to get the barrier, but whiffs the strike. Unfortunately, the Aeronado comes out to the bottom, trying to predict this Juliet, and almost did, but not quite found there. One barrier does go down, though, for the Pillow Pilled, though. They're trying to open up this goal, but Drakkar is also trying to stay alive.
Yeah, this Drakkar is not long for this world. There's the Lunar Rocket. A nice dash punch from Slenderman to secure that barrier, which might just breathe life into their team, but the flip from Era going to seal that one away. Drakkar dead or alive doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. That's one of those things, like, as a kill comp, or as a damage comp, you don't even necessarily need to kill people. If you just do enough damage and keep them out of the way, they have to play as if they were dead. It's still effectively the same. Great flip, though, but the angle is slightly off, doesn't get the barrier. Does get the barrier in the end with help from Nice Try Guy, but Nice Try Guy will, in the end, be Nice Try Die, as they're going to go straight off the edge with another dash punch there. Slenderman very low on health. Giga Blast goes a little bit wide, though, doesn't hit the core or the Julie there. And the pass from Center trying to get into this corner, trying to buy a little bit of time. We have Era back on the field. Slenderman not winning the strike war there, unfortunately for Pillow Pilled, but Smoothie Groove Syndicate is trying to get some core control here. Flurry comes out, countered by a core flip. Great Molten Bolt there from the Drakkar. The Rocket Dash as well from Cannonball is not going to find it. Dash Punch will find the Kai and the core, send them into the goal. Not quite the kill, but still really nice find there by Slenderman.
Yeah, that's a tough situation to be a Kai. Long cooldowns on that character, no evade, in the face of a Juliet with both flip and dash punch is never nice. You kind of start peeing yourself a little bit, to be totally honest, and you just take that loss.
Sometimes you do just have to take the loss, but they are not trying to take a loss easily here. Slenderman looking for the kill to the Giga as well, trying to answer. If Juliet gets that dash punch, maybe the Giga hits or off the edge. You trade 1 for 1. Barrier blocks off the middle of the map, and Drakkar gets taken to very low health here for so many abilities being used. But if they don't have enough to actually get the barrier, it might be all for naught. They're still trying to get the kill on this Drakkar, but they're not finding it. Really good survivability here from Sencho. I do have to commend him on, because so many abilities. It's like 2 Air Tornadoes, 3 Luna ults, Rocket Dashes, so many things used, and Yui is the one, or Yui in the end, is going to be the one to get the kill onto Luna. And Drakkar is now finally freed from the little rocket gremlin that is trying to kill him the entire time. Core flip invested there from Slenderman to just prevent anything that Hostar can do. Don't know if I love the decision there to invest the core flip, but it was a safe bet, so at the very least I can't fault him too much for it.
Yeah, it's always better safe than sorry. Flips are resources, goals are nice. You can't complain if somebody uses a flip and secures a goal.
And there's going to be another barrier going down at the top here. Another dash punch almost found. Slenderman was looking for it. But it is going to be Luna taking the damage here. The Aeronado almost catches Julie, sends her off the map, but not quite. And Slenderman, though, very low here. Gonna find the flurry onto Luna, trading blows here with the ultimate, and unfortunately for Luna, Juliet is the one to take that victory. A lot of damage here. That's gonna be the barrage taking Julie off the map, but Hostards run all the way to the top of the map, so he loses the barrier and trade for the kill. Can they get another barrier for it? Not quite just yet. Cannonball going down to the bottom here, right off rip. Really nice positioning there just to be available for a pass potentially, but it is intercepted. The core control is maintained here by Pillow Pilled as they're trying to send it through, trying to get it into the goal, but Slenderman takes another chunk of damage from this Luna ult that's just up so often from the extra special, and of course the spec training damage is just incredible. The flurry comes out, but the strike is not found. Almost finds a sort of creative angle there, doesn't even find the barrier there thanks to a little bit of help from Nice Try Guy, and Yui is looking forward with the core flip, doesn't find it, does whiff it, unfortunately. Core flip comes out of Era, finds the barrier, really nice angle. Core flip, Crater Maker from Luna is found, the Bewitching Beam doesn't send it through, but the pass down to Cannonball, who sends it right back up to the top through Sensho and Ui, really nicely done there from Smooth Groove Syndicate.
Yeah, I think I'm really enjoying the smart clears that Hostar is making on this Kai. They're really finding places that not every player at the OSAS level is able to, like, see. They're finding these clears to get the core away and keep these barriers up, which against an Asher goalie, like, you really want to be able to do. If you can keep them up longer, you win the point, and that's sort of what we're seeing from them here.
Yeah, but unfortunately the core flip straight at the Asher is not the way to get it through there. I could see the Vision trying to get it around her, but unfortunately Asher is quite large here with that with the pauldrons, so it's not quite going to work there. Almost repositioning the Asher with the Crater Maker, that's another way to do it, but Slenderman with the dash punch is able to get another barrier, use the core flip just to evade, but does still take the entire health bar in the trade. Sensho goes down, passes up to Julie, pass back up. The Jakar is a little bit short though, no projectile range on the Jakar. It has been brutal. And we're going to see another Butching Beam come out. The Crater Maker tanked by the Asher secondary damage reduction. Really nicely found there. Gets the core clear of that Luna ult in split-second decision-making. That is just amazing to see.
Yeah, Slenderman low, but I don't think there's anything that they can necessarily kill them with right now, so it's getting a little scary, and the core speed just puts it right in, surprising Hostar. That's really unfortunate, but Pillowpilled will take that point, that set.
Yeah. You'll love to see it as well. The flurry to stall the core and then the walk forward to keep it behind you so you're not as predictable. And then just sending it through the core speed helping so much on that play, but just the brain power to go through in the heat of the moment and do it. And of course, it's going to be Asher picking up team player, already having the power of Powerhouse Pauldrons and the Haunt Shot as well. So no matter whether it's ability or strike, Asher's just going to be sending the core clear across the map. And the teammates as well with the bulk up ad rush pickup, I think Pillowpilled might also be sending the enemy all the way across the map.
Yeah, this was one thing that I was a little scared of with this Drakkar. The big fish and bulk up survivability and power combo is going to be really hard to play with, especially with the Julia getting all these dash punches. You know, damage is going to be kind of a big deal here, especially if they can get the Might of the Colossus on the Drakkar, should it come to that. I'm a little worried on the side of the red team, or the blue team here.
Yeah, Smooth Groove Syndicate is locking in a little bit, though, on the core control, so if they can just stay alive, if they can do enough damage to keep the Drakkar off of them, but even there we see, I mean, a direct hit with the Crater Maker, not quite the center, though, but still, didn't even do that much damage to this Drakkar because he has so much health. The Rocket, though, accelerating the core so that it actually does hit the barrier. It's an open goal here. The Aeronado as well clearing the way. Open goals on both sides. Slenderman is trying to go forward. The barrage sends it all the way back to square one. The Giga Blast again, really nicely played by Hostar. He's also running up quite high, and that's a kill onto the Asher Cannonball K, sending the Asher into the goal with the Crater Maker and just clearing the way entirely. Nicely done.
Yeah, the Crater Maker just slightly clipped Ui just enough to knock the Asher off the map, and that's just a bit of a size difference. The big Asher kind of just dies like that sometimes.
Yeah, and it can be so difficult to actually keep track of that as well when you're on the goalie. You know, you're paying attention to the core. You might take a half step back too far, and then Luna takes advantage of that. But a great advantage taken here by Slenderman, finding the barrier, but not two. Good defense there by Hostar does put a stop to the double. The Molten Bolt comes out with so much core speed there as well. The Luna Dash doesn't quite get the drive-by strike, but does still get the position to try and attack this barrier. But the Dash Punch is going to send it through on the other side of the map when it gets the, the clear, the half second after. The core flip as well. Good patience as well, but a little unfortunate on the angle. Whiffs the core flip from the Kai, but doesn't get the goal. And that's now an open goal here with the Asher. The core flip invested as well from the Luna. So there's not much energy on the field available anymore. Sensho loses the strike war in the middle of the map, and that might be the end of it. But it's going to be the strike or the core flip from the Asher sending it forward, and it's going to be Cannonball K sending it down to the bottom. An unfortunate series of events there from Pillowpilled to just lose the resources and the positioning that they just barely got. They were a fingernail away from the goal, but unfortunately in those moments you really have to double down on your precision because the nerves of the situation can get to you so easily.
Yeah, the Twin Drive Luna is, I think, really paying dividends in a lot of ways. Having that extra ability stack just makes it so hard to keep track of when she has dash and when she doesn't. Jeez, just like that, the 1-2 punch, taking Era clean off and proccing Adrenaline Rush. That's a very scary situation for them to be in. Pillowpilled has quite the advantage, but not capitalizing on it just yet.
Yeah, Era's able to get back on the field, and there's still one barrier standing here for the Smooth Groove Syndicate. They're trying to get the kill there. A lot of damage onto the car and in the poison zone as well. The Gear Blast goes a little bit wide, though. Molten Bolt hits the core and also tags the Luna in the air for a little bit of damage, not too much. Speaking of damage, though, Sencho almost taken out their Bewitching Beam to keep the health bar low, but it's going to be Slenderman that finds the kill onto the Luna, but can they get the clear all the way out? Hellstar uses the barrier, or uses the barrage there to save the barrier, and Sencho's trying to get it to this Juliet, but Juliet just doesn't have the positioning, doesn't have the abilities whenever it's necessary to get this barrier, because it's repeatedly intercepted every single time by Hostar or Nice Try Guy. But finally, with a ricochet off the Crater Maker, the Rocket Dash going wide, and a great shot with Yui's Core Flip there is going to get a lot more purchase here. But in the end, the Luna Rocket Dash is just the star of the show, finding position for Cannonball K, finding the ability to just go straight through the Asher when it's needed. I was a little doubtful at the first with the Luna forward pick because it can be very hard to execute on, especially in an amateur level tournament with OSAS, but these players showing that you really have to be pretty good at the game, even at this level, to win a tournament like this. And gonna take the build different there. I was expecting a Deadeye, but on the forward Luna, especially just an eye Asher the size, it can be pretty nice.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I don't entirely hate it. If it falls to your Kai doesn't mind Deadeye. The size is nice, especially on like a Brawler Luna, and it does deny both the Drakkar and the Asher, should either of them want that. The Timeless pick over Monumentalist is interesting. I'm not an Era midfield player, so I don't know about that one, but I don't know if that's what I'd be picking.
Yeah, it might be that Dira just wants a little bit more time to set up some of these kills, but nicely done by Cannonball K there to just keep it in the corner and eventually take the barrier down and find the cross shot to the top. Well played there by Cannonball K, and as well as Nice Try Guy to help set up the play. But in the end, the barrier taking the goal was Cannonball on that Luna, and has really just been playing very well this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really impressed by Cannonball K's just their strikes are always really just like that, really perfectly placed, and it's making it really hard for the Drakkar and Asher if they're not perfectly coordinated to really handle that defense, especially when they don't have the Vades.
Yeah, and I mean, you see a lot of energy lacking on the side of Pillow Pilled. A little bit as well on the Era, but she has enough energy bar now to evade once if the dash punch comes her way. The dash strike from Cannonball is not quite enough to get the barrier, but I love to see it being applied there. And Crater Maker core speed is really nice, gets a perfect redirect into the goal there. Core Flip comes out with the Era NATO kill onto the Asher. And that is one goal away. Smooth Groove Syndicate showing how grooved their brains are with a very unconventional creative comp that I think someone earlier called criminal in the chat, and I would agree, but if they're able to get away with it, then they're able to get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, Monumental is not needed to take out the Asher, apparently. But I think, something you said earlier is like how well they're playing this core control with the 2-speed characters and the sort of very mobile Luna. I think that's exactly what's happening here, and as long as they can stay alive against this Julie, that seems to be sort of the way that they win this.
Yeah, but Slenderman at the bottom here trying to put it through. Core Flip though from Hostars, and almost an own goal.
Oh my goodness.
I was going to compliment him on it, but it ended up being fine in the end. Strike War in the end from Yui is going to be one. The Core Flip from the Era though is going to seal the deal. And that is the win for Smooth Groove Syndicate, securing their spot in the bracket. And, well, it's not over yet. They still have to go through the bracket. But at the very least, they've made it through the first phase of this week. And it's been pretty cool. Honestly, some really good games today. Some games that looked a little dicey at times. But these teams today have just been phenomenal.
Yeah, a crazy game on a crazy map with a crazy comp. What more could you ask for? I'm choosing to believe that Hostar's almost own goal was super calculated, and I'm going to pretend like it enabled that flip to seal the game. Nobody can tell me otherwise.
I mean, it's a classic goalie strategy, actually. Sometimes even taking your own barrier, it makes the enemy forwards play up, and then you can just go around them. And it's definitely not copium at all, and it's definitely intentional every time I've hit my own barriers. It's just the way it works.
Exactly. The enemy can't predict your moves if you can't predict your own moves. So really, it's truly the ultimate strategy.
But speaking of ultimate strategies, this comp from Smooth Groove Syndicate the Era Kaigoli Luna pick definitely worked really well with the extra special, their ultimate abilities, being able to just go time and time again, just basically spamming it on the opponents and continuously ticking away the health bars, especially on Sencho. I love the focus on the enemy midfield because, especially in a comp of Asher and Julie, you need that midfielder to be able to get the connection all the way through. And we saw time and time again that unfortunately Pillow Pilled was just not able to get the connection from the successful defensive Yui to Slendermon in the offense because Sencho was just permanently disabled by the low health bar. You just cannot play forward because you will instantly die. So credit to Sencho for staying alive and being able to survive so much through that. The fact that there's only 4 kills on the side of Smooth Groove Syndicate is insane. But at the end of the day, the damage is what mattered to the damage comp, and they played it really well.
Yeah, there was so much coordination coming out from Smooth Groove Syndicate. Like you mentioned very early on, the rotations between Nice Try Guy and Hostar, the Mom Boots really enabling that Kai to just consistently run up instead of having to rely on secondary and do those rotations. I think was really useful in navigating the Juliet, navigating the Drakkar, which when given too much of what they want can be very dangerous to play against. And I think that ended up being kind of a difference maker with the Luna being so in Yui's face with the extra special, with the twin drive. So they played this comp and drafted this comp really well. And I'm like I said, fun comp. You know, a comp I would enjoy playing. Maybe not the best, but it was definitely enjoyable to watch and I assume play, and it got them the win.
Yeah, it did get them the win. We will be seeing them in the bracket, which is coming up next. So do stick around. But we're going to be rotating out some casters in between the games. So stick around for some new voices. Stick around for some old players and enjoy. But for now, we're going to cut to a bit break. See y'all later.
Bye.
Hello, party people. We are back once again. OSAS week 2. I am P Flair. I am here with one and only Battle Means Wave, and we are getting right into it. We have none other but Dream Crush against Blue Moon Guys. How are we looking here, Battle?
Uh, we're getting kicked down to the lobby, which is fine. It gives us some time to talk.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see this. I think Dream Crush has had a lot of potential over OSAS 11. They're definitely a team ready to qualify for finale. I'm a little less knower of Blue Moon Guys, it's very interesting because I see Panacito, who is a goalie main, and then they have Mishno, who is also a goalie main. So they have two goalie mains, and they stuffed them into one team. So let's see how it goes. And I see it was a primetime Reptile Remedy start, and it should. And on Imi's app, I think it's going to be a pretty interesting comp because we see the Rasmus pick coming out from Blue Team, and then we didn't see a Julie pick. But actually, I think Dream Crush got a really nice ban pick here. They got really high value picks like Rasmus and Jakar. So if they can execute it, I think this should be a nice game for Dream Crush. But also, it's OSAS, so anything can happen. So Blue Moon Guys have made it to bracket. Let's see what they can show us.
Yeah, I basically agree with all of that. It's going to be something I think I wouldn't be surprised if it would be a close competition between these two. Like I said, like we know a little bit about Pancito, and on Imi's app, they've got. I think Blue Moon Guys have a lot of frightening potential with these character picks. Zentaro, Asher, Imi, like I said, it's just very, very scary. Can deliver a surprising amount of offense and just a lot of being able to kind of force the issue. Whereas I feel like DC over here, I feel like they are very good with being able to contest most matters, but I worry about like the damage output is my thing.
Yeah, so I think Mythic Actuary taking Pummelers here, he definitely wants to pull people into the hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
And another thing about Blue Moon Guys comp right now is they're actually choosing the Zentaro over the Asher as the forward, which makes sense. Panacito is an Asher main on the goalie, and Mako has a pretty good time against Zentaro, and then has a bad time against Asher in terms of forward goalie matchups. So Mingo actually, I don't think he's a goalie main, but he might have a little bit easier time defending against Blue Moon Guys as a Mako. But I did say that the first barrier did fall, and we're seeing Imperial Simp walk in, take the barrier up Panacito here, and now the barriers all evened up, and Mingo not quite there in position as the first point taken by Blue Moon Guys.
Yeah, that was honestly just very good passing and very good just consistency on that play. Just a quick feed down, up, and in on Imi's app. That goal, that barrier is easy to get, and things can kind of shift so quickly on this map. So I wouldn't be surprised if we keep getting a whole lot of quick happenings, kind of like that. Just in the hole on the wall, it's already getting bloody.
Yeah, it's a great catch from Panacito getting Mythic Actuary off the field. Mythic's kind of getting mind control here by his Rasmus pick. He is kind of drunk with power, just ready to pull people with the hook, but he's got to play his normal game and add the hook in there. He can't just be, trying to hook people, because that's what Panacito actually got Mythic Actuary trying to do. But now he's back, and both teams have their barriers down, so let's see what Mythic Actuary can do against Panacito. He gets the primary out of Asher. Panacito did not take prime time, by the way. This is a Reptile Remedy Asher, so it's a little less scary in terms of defense. But Mingo here, he needs to hit his primary. He uses his flip, just gets it to Panacito, who rotates it around to Mishno now. Imperial Simp has flip almost, trying to rotate around. He has flip now. Jakar with the flip, uses it immediately and loses to the Asher special. Now with Asher trying to play the midfield along with Mr. 100, but that's not going to go well for him as he gets caught out by Panacito again and pushed into the hole once again. And Dream Crush here looking to be in a shaky position as Mishno gets the slice and dice. And 2-0 now for Blue Moon Guys.
Yeah, very nice on Michino to be able to kind of catch that, win that out. Mean Goat's been trying to like play very aggressively, like hit out a lot with these strike shots, and just do what they can to kind of like support as like a distant third party, bit of a artillery cannon, so to speak, try and add a little bit more pressure to things. And that's all well and good, but they can't let that kind of supersede their task at being a goalie. Normally, I don't feel like they have entirely yet, but there have been the occasional moment where they've, been going for that perfect pitch or going for that strike shot and are a little bit out of position or like that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Mean Goat needs some time to adjust here, but we are going into first set draft here as Blue Moon guys take a convincing 1-0 set lead against Dream Crush.
Yeah, and there are a number of good things on the board. I personally am looking at Extra Special for honestly Asher. Yep, there we go. And honestly, Castellas, maybe even Deadeye.
Okay, looks like Mako is leaving those Awakenings open for now. He wants Rasmus to get the pick. Heavy Impact is on the board as well as Bulk Up. And the fact that all these teams have just kind of let it cascade through, yeah, I mean, Mr. Hunter is going to be pretty happy about that pickup. Castellas from Mako as well, for sure, as you pointed out. But I think at the end of the day here, it's actually Blue Moon guys who have gotten the better end of the draft deal here, as they get to pick up Bulk Up and Extra Special and Twin Drive. So a little bit unconventional, some of these picks here, but we'll definitely see how it plays out between these teams. Mythic Actuary actually doing a really scary push here, and Imperial Simp, nice shotgun, gets the barrier down, and Panacito almost lets the goal through, but the barrier was still, the gates were still opening for the goal, and Mythic Actuary pushing through with the Rasmus, trying to pass it to Imperial Simp, and he does, and the core slips through. 1-0, and signs of life from Dream Crush.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely far from over for Dream Crush already. Aside from the Castellas, I'm really more looking at the Deadeye, also Dead Body, Mr. Hunter getting pulled through. But just there's a lot more possibilities for aggression on the side of Dream Crush, which allow them to get a lot more offense just from these Awakenings that I figured. So very good on them to kind of get that pressure and get these power plays going. That is definitely going to kind of change the algebra of the match and for hopefully long enough that they can build a good lead or at very least catch up in sets.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's Mythic Actuary, it's Dream Crush who has the high value character picks, and yeah, it slips it through with Whiplash. Even though Asher's Path Splitter was there, Mythic Actuary putting on a show on set 2. And yeah, and Imperial Simp here, he has Heavy Impact. He's Heavy Impact Ricard is going to be very, very scary as well on the offense. So if Mythic Actuary can start getting some hooks, can start actually piling on his offense, yeah, and actually hit those hooks, they're going to have a really scary offense set up, especially these corner offenses here. Mythic Actuary swings in with a pendulum swing. Unfortunately, does not get the barrier, but Mean Goat, nice secondary to clear. And Mythic Actuary waits out the Aimi turret, and now rotating core towards the bottom side of the field. Now Panacito here, he should have his primary up, does get it used. Strike Wars, Imperial Simp, Mr. Hunter wins the Strike War again as well. Now, Mythic Actuary, nice catch onto Mishino though, pulls him into the hole. Mean Goat unfortunately lets the core slip by, the barrier goes down. Core flip used from Mythic Actuary, but Panacito is there with his primary and rotates back in time, but the second time's a charm for Imperial Simp as they get the core barrier open. Now barrier open for both sides. Imperial Simp, but Imperial Simp tries to come in, but Path Splitter blocks, but Mythic Actuary follows up with the Pendulum and gets it in. Quick second set coming up from Dream Crush.
Yeah, very nice. That hook ended up proving a little bit almost risky, but they got it. Mean Goat still constantly pushing up, I have noticed. But so far, it does seem to be working out for them. That third person, assistant with the offense does seem to be helping at times, and the other two are just very good at positioning to make sure that everything they want to go through really does go through, that they can push whenever they need to. And that recovery drone is going to make avoiding that chain a whole lot harder, not to mention that missile propulsion. Those are the two that I'm looking at the most, even with team player.
Yeah, so the hook's going to be, Mythic Actuary going to have a lot more size now. His Pendulum swings with Tip Flash is going to be scaling with that size. And Imperial Simp, undeniable Missile Pro, I guess, unless Panacito gave a team player for it. And unfortunately, Panacito does die now, and it's a 2v1 situation, 3v2 situation now with power play from Dream Crush, gets it through. Oh, but Mr. 100, perfect glitch pop, saves it and buys time for Pansy to come back up. But Mishno is looking slightly low. This is a scary moment for him, just trying to hide behind Mean Goat, making sure that he has to make Dream Crush choose if he wants to kill him. But Pansito unfortunately mispositioned slightly in the core. Nice redirect from Imperial Simp, slips past Asher. And yeah, this is looking like a very scary scaled composition here from Dream Crush.
Yeah, Dream Crush is, at this point, looks like they're pretty much fully online. They know what they want to do, and now it's just execute and hopefully take it to the win.
Yeah, of course, Mr. 100 looking dangerously low, has to retreat for the orb, which of course leaves room for Imperial Simp to walk on over with his Exo, the secondary, and now Mingo uses his flip to get it out of Mishno's Oni Blade, and Mythic Asteroid does lose his recovery drone, but he has full flip now. He gets to maintain that flip, and he can use it. He tried to hook Mr. 100 in there, I believe, which of course doesn't work out. But Imperial Simp and Mythic Asteroid both with flip, and Pansito just using his flip is a dangerous situation for Blue Moongeist, and bam, knocked off the fieldish Mishno, and Mr. 100 only level 3. He's in a dangerous spot. Pansito with good strike force, but unfortunately can't win them all. Mr. 100's back now, but a combination of the primary from the Mako and Imperial Simp puts him down low again, and now with the full Rasmus, Mythic Asteroid just racking in those kills. All he needed to do was just get another item, and that was all he needed. And the shotgun from Imperial Simp gets the core past to Asher, and 2-0 lead. This could be a really quick set 3 from Dream Crush.
Yeah, this is looking very scary. Dream Crush has very clearly scaled already, two drafts, and they are looking ferocious. We still got another one to go, so it's not like Blue Moon guys cannot catch up, but at the very least one more point, it is looking like pretty much all Dream Crush. So the question here is, what is Blue Moon guys looking for to try and even this up?
Well, Blue Moon guys definitely need to get more awakenings that scale for them, and unfortunately that's might not be the case, as Dream Crush gets a nice set 3, nice pendulum from Mythic Actuary. Panacita's not very happy about that. But yeah, Mishno has been denied his dash awakenings. Mean Goat getting Castellas plus the Super Surge is actually huge as he buffs up his teammates, and now it looks like Zentaro might be denied a dash awakening again, as Explosive Entrance is out on the field. This is a big priority awakening. Mythic Actuary kind of getting Rasmus mind controlled again. He opts for a Monumentalist here, and that hooks is going to be very scary. But I gotta remember, sometimes the hook's not everything. But aerials on the Mako on Mean Goat is huge. The double dash awakening Mako is absolutely wonderful, and he would have gotten Exodia if actually he got Twin Drive in the set 1 draft, I believe. But yeah, so Mean Goat's gonna be huge. Mako just has to beat the drums, and Imperial Simp and Mythic Actuary, they are drunk on speed and power as Mishno just goes off the field. Good use of the hook by Mythic Actuary to try to pull Panacito. Unfortunately, the vision was there, but the core was not. But Imperial Simp and Mythic Actuary really good at just stuffing the core through the defenses of Mr. 100 and Mishno here. And Mishno has to use his evade once more. And Mythic Actuary slightly lagging, but now that Mishno's out of evade, it leaves him that much more vulnerable to a random pull off the IME's app, and they have to be dangerous because Mythic Actuary has hook again, unfortunately misses, but that redirect, that Monumentalist power is actually huge, and Mean Goat misses the Mako cage, but gets it out with the strike, no problem. And he has flipped, unfortunately, has to burn it right there because of scary aiming turret from Mr. 100, and Panacita trying to get it through using the flip, successful, and Mishno uses his special, but the barrier stands strong on the side of Dream Crush, and Mishno might be kicked out with the pendulum swing there. Mingo misses his strike shot though, so the barrier itself is open. Panacita wants to put on more pressure, and Mythic Actuary getting the kill on both forwards. Panacito all on his lonesome trying to get through, but Mythic Actuary gets it around Panacito, and 1-0 Dream Crush looking to secure their victory and move on to the qualifying match here.
This is looking like it is a bit of a tidal wave situation. Dream Crush trying to crush some dreams, as clearly is their want, but Blue Moon guys do not want to let it in so nastily, as they they are trying to defend for their life, but there is so much aggression coming out from this Dream Crush team. There is so much damage coming out. These people are they are trying to figure out what to do, how to handle all this, and at this point, I feel like they're trying to figure out anything, but it seems like almost nothing can stop the pain. It keeps going.
Yeah, I mean, it's the damage is compounding, and it's really, really scary. It's not that the IME's app hole in the middle is the problem anymore. It's just generally everything. I mean, Missile Projectar with 1-2 punch, as well as Mingo just knocking in some primaries, and oh my goodness, I can't believe Mythic actually just pulled Mr. 100 all the way from downtown into the hole, just dragging him into the pit. And Imperial Sim, nice special, getting it past Panacito, and it's another power play here from Dream Crush. Potentially, it seems like a never-ending power play, actually, as the turret comes down, the special comes down, Imperial Sim has the flip to answer for it, and Mishno trying to come out, trying to get some damage onto Mythic Actuary, but this is Mythic Actuary with Evade, and he has a lot of stagger. He can just get it through, and Panacito was waiting for that special and uses it to get it out, but unfortunately, a little bit of a panicked response coming out from Blue Moon Guys, and yeah, they're going to let the core slip through, and that's a victory, 3-1 victory for Dream Crush, and they move on to their qualifying match.
Yeah, just very nice, honestly. Just very, I don't want to call it dominant, I will say a very well-earned victory from Dream Crush. Like, they got those drafts, and they were just able to start rolling hard. I mean, 10, 11, 12 KOs, and it doesn't seem like they would do that much at first glance when you like look at the damage, but with all those KOs just being Rasmus going fishing, he caught himself a lot.
Yeah, definitely. The first few sets, the damage actually wasn't necessarily there. It was really all reliance on Mythic Actuary getting kills into the pit, and he really made good adjustments. I think he saw that Mr. 100 and Mishno were kind of ready for it, and he saw that Panacito was also on top of his game, knocking him into the pit, right? Those 2 kills on Panacito were both on Mythic Actuary, I believe. So he adjusted, he played the game that he knows how to play. Mythic Actuary is a great Rasmus player, and he can always go fishing later when he actually scales and gets the awakenings that he wanted. And that was the Deadeye pick, that was the Monumentalist pick, and he made him work. And I think it was a great play from Dream Crush. And yeah, they deserve to be in the qualifying match. And unfortunately for Blue Moon Guys, they will have to come back in the next week.
That they will, but we will be back, I believe, very shortly. Do we go to a break? I think we... Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Hello, we're back for another game of quarterfinals in OSAS 12 week 2 actually, and we see the Shrimp and Shrimpers versus the Platinum Horde, and these two teams have actually had some lore starting this OSAS. Shrimp and Shrimpers have beat the Platinum Horde in week 1. Unfortunately, Shrimp and Shrimpers did not qualify, and then week 2 they met the Platinum Horde in the Swiss stage and beat them again, and now they meet for the third time in the quarterfinals. And this one is unfortunately the game that really matters, because the winner of this goes on to the qualifying match, and the loser of this gets early night sleep. So we'll see if Hop the Frog, Chicken Tendies, and Jiggle Supreme have made their respective adjustments against Steam Whistle, Kitten Ruler, and Breaksin.
This, honestly, I was surprised to learn just how much lore they had. I know in particular you're looking forward to this one. So it's going to be fun. I am personally looking at the Shrimp and Shrimpers. Hopefully, I just, one, I like their name. Two, it's fun. But in all seriousness, I do like a couple of their players, Steam Whistle, Brexit in particular. I think that they have all the potential in the world, and so I do want them to show out. I do want them to, like be as best as they could. I want them. I want them to take it all the way. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, look, as a former shrimp and shrimper, I also want them to take it all the way. But I see some potentials coming out. So this was a bulk up aerial start. And we saw Jiggle Supreme. I believe Jiggle Supreme got his comfort pick on the Atlas. And I think everyone on red team, actually, I think everyone on the Platinum Horde got their comfort picks here. And this is huge in terms of OSAS, right? It's really important that you get your comfort picks over necessarily what's meta or what's good for the map. And so in that regards, it's good. But on the other hand, we also see shrimp and shrimpers on some of their favorite picks. So we're really seeing some all-out, no holds barred fist fight that might come out. And we see Kitten Roller ready to go. He has his wand out here. He has his bulk up there. And yeah, so it might be another damage-based game with plenty of kills, depending on how things shape out here, P-Player.
No, I definitely agree. Like, Vice can just pump it out, just let her get rocking and rolling, and you will never stop. So they are definitely going to have to watch out for that. As a wild,
oh my goodness,
that was a slime shot and a wild roll for like the insult to injury. It looked like to me.
I mean, that was absolutely wild. Kitten Roller, I mean, clean with device, I must say. Doesn't need to charge it fully if Hop the Frog is super close to the wall right there. I do want to also say that Steam Whistle playing Dubu against Asher is going to be really, really huge. I believe the last time on Clarion Corp that these two teams have met, again, a lot of lore, Hop the Frog played Rasmus into the Dubu, which I think is a little bit stronger than the Asher into the Dubu, but Hop the Frog just telling me to eat my words because he gets a pass splitter in, and great pass play with the Juno Slimes. Gets it in, ties up the score, 1-1 now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this one, like we said, it's gonna be damage heavy. It's gonna be a bit of a slugfest. To add on to that, it seems like I wouldn't be surprised if this turns out to be just like a quick and dirty fight. You know what I mean? Just bodies flying everywhere, scores getting scored like super fast, like within, like before overtime. I would not be surprised if that happened at all. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw Jiggle Supreme get off the field. Atlas needs to hit level 2 so that he could get his Celestial Intervention, his heal, as well as the revive coming out. And Kitten Roller just waiting on the corner for Chicken Tendies to step closer. And Chicken Tendy must step closer because he has Slicks on. He's a Slicks Juno. And as soon as he does, he's waiting. And Braxton with a slice and dice past Jiggle Supreme, who had no skills to ward it off. And that's a unfortunate situation here, but the Platinum Horde, they must carry on. They must not let that affect them. Chicken Tendies bravely contest Kitten Roller here. Chicken Tendies also notable that he took aerials here, and oh no, goes slightly too close to the wall once again. Kitten Roller just waiting, gets him out with the Supernova, and now it's another 2v1 against Jiggle Supreme as Hop the Frog tries to come back as quick as possible. One saving grace is that Kitten Roller has Wand, which giveth and taketh because it lets him do all these crazy kills, but also it is letting the rotations on the side of Shrimp and Shrimpers be a little bit slower, and Braxton wanting to kill Hop the Frog, unfortunately, is off a little too much, but the Zentaro passive past Jiggle Supreme 3-1. Quick first set to the side of Shrimp and Shrimpers.
That was honestly very nice on all their parts. They seem like they came in this one ready and raring to go, and this is going to be pretty nice for them as well.
I mean, they say third time's a charm, but if they can't get it 3 times, what does that make them? And immediately bulk up plus Reptile Remedy combo going over to Kitten Roller. We do see some size coming out, but that does mean that Steam Whistle gets the ever-important team player breaks and sparking up. But we do see, Orb Replicator actually instead of Missile Pro from Jiggle Supreme. So we want to see a little bit more life, I think, but we'll have to see how much that Orb Replicator value comes into play, because this isn't Aten City anymore. So this is Clarion Test Chamber, and Kitten Roller once again takes Chicken Tendies off. It's so hard to just keep your wits about you when this Vice just can seem to kill you with every turn. And yeah, Kitten Roller really having a good time here. He even gets the core past Jiggle Supreme, just breaks in, and they're making sure they maintain the core control as Chicken Tendies comes back, but does lose the barrier, so it might have been a little bit of lead coming out. And now Kitten Roller's turn to get taken off the field. Just Hop the Frog, nice primary into the dash, and Steam is a little bit too slow. He has Pauldrons, and now jumping in, Chicken Tendies, he takes a lead in the second set, 1-0.
Yeah, very nice on the part of the Platinum Horde, trying to shake back. They're like, we are not going to let you run away from this. We are not going to just let you, like, smash all over us. But right now, it does seem... Oh, held it for a little bit. Wanted them to hear the sick beats. But, yeah, the way the Shrimp and Shrimpers are playing right now, it is looking very dicey for the Platinum Horde. Shrimp and Shrimpily all over them. And you knew I was going to say that at one point in this game. I just decided to go ahead and say it right now. Get that one done and over with. Rip that Band-Aid off. Like the Shrimp and Shrimpers are trying to tear off this little problem called the Platinum Horde, just taking them down one by one. The Horde trying their best to shake back, and they have been making a little bit of headway here and there, but it's just very tough to keep this offense going when you have one Kitten Ruler basically killing a member of your team every 3 seconds, and Steam Whistle in the back doing their best to defend as a giant hamster gets the Soren angle, but oh wow, Pathfinder manages to push it in. I'm liking this one. This is exciting. This is a firefight. This is a slugfest. This is a slobber knocker. Call it whatever you want. But this is also a Mega Strikers. Hey.
That's absolutely crazy. I mean, Shrimp and Shrimpers have committed so much into the front line. Again, starting by the Awakenings, again, Kitten Ruler having the wand, making the rotations a little slower, to Steam Whistle using aggressive, oh, missing the Soren angle, Jiggle Supreme, unfortunate. But now it's a 2-2 all tied up on second set. But this is a lot more critical for the Platinum Horde to win, because going into a set in an 0-2 versus going into a set in a 1-1 is a huge difference. And not just that, the Awakening scaling might be extra rough, especially if Kitten Ruler gets a heavy impact, which I believe is out, or another scaling Awakening like extra specialized training. It's going to be really, really scary, because Kitten Ruler already forcing Jiggle Supreme to use the Celestial Intervention on his own, but Steam Whistle does lose to Hop the Frog there. Kitten Ruler using his flip to get the barrier, and breaks and misses the follow-up to the Slice and Dice, unfortunately. And Chicken Tendies, oh, nice use of the Atlab variant, but unfortunately, the core does slip through, and now it's up to Breakson and Steam Whistle to kind of get the core through. And now nice flip from Breakson, gets it through Kitten Ruler. Kitten Ruler misses the primary, and Breakson misses the Slice and Dice once again. And Steam Whistle, though, this time he is making sure that Kitten Ruler can get to the interactions and wins the Strike War over Jiggle Supreme. And Platinum Horde has some good moments, but at the end of the day, is Shrimp and Shrimpers coming out with a 2-0 set lead as we go into this draft here.
Yeah, definitely not what they want there. I actually do see a couple of possible saving graces for the Platinum Horde, in particular stacks on stacks, maybe even Twin Drive, but I'm not so sure that that's going to matter with that fight or flight going on. Actually, oh, very nice deny on the extra special, I will say that. And it still helps Asher. You do not want that Vice just being able to supernova every single kickoff.
Yeah, I mean, definitely extra special taken, and also very good on Hop the Frog is in terms of the situation that's happening, right? Because it's Platinum Horde is Chicken Tendies and Jiggle Supreme need to be on defense, need to try and kind of hug each other and not die, and Hop the Frog kind of is left with this Herculean monumental task of getting the core past Steam Whistle once the core somehow slips through both Breakson and Kitten Ruler. So for that, the Path Splitter is going to be absolutely instrumental here, and Jiggle Supreme uses the Celestial Intervention, kind of like a flashbang, I guess, of sorts. But unfortunately, that does mean that he is going to be low against Kitten Ruler, as Steam Whistle wins the Strike War against Chicken Tendies, even uses roll, dodges the Path Splitter from Hop the Frog. Wonderful defense by Steam Whistle, putting on a clinic against a rare offense of the Platinum Horde, and now Chicken Tendies brought low. Jiggle Supreme also brought low. Kitten Ruler with the flip, walking towards Breakson, as Breakson tries to set up, and Jiggle Supreme brought low once more, and this is Kitten Ruler with the flip. Next Thunderstruck might be deadly for the Platinum Horde. Steam Whistle using the flip, making sure he can keep a hold of his lower barrier, but now again, 1v1, Hop the Frog versus Steam Whistle. Everybody wants to see this happen, and Kitten Ruler using the flip to save his goalie. Breakson unfortunately misses the redirect. Now coming in, nice flip, kills Jiggle Supreme, and not much Chicken Tendies can do. especially with that supernova layered on top.
Yeah, no, I mean, don't get me wrong. Excellent, excellent game attempt by the Platinum Horde. Hop the Frog just tried their absolute best, trying to step up straight to Steam Whistle, but Steam Whistle had it all scouted and already. Beautiful defensive performance by Steam Whistle, by the Shrimp and Shrimpers in general, just being able to hold off that onslaught, which almost might have been like their last best shot. There's 2 more points to tell this, and so this one's over with. And they do have 2. They do have 2 flips pretty much on deck, but it's still they're going to have to use those very, very carefully.
Yeah, this is a nice ult by Kitten Ruler and gets nice Celestial Intervention from Jiggle Supreme, saves himself actually and heals Chicken Tendies back up to full. Who did unfortunately have to use his flip though without taking a barrier, and now the core slows down a little bit, but unfortunately a Thunderstruck comes in, Kitten Ruler piling on the pain and amping up the speed for Shrimp and Shrimpers now, and Kitten Ruler just one ability, 1 core flip, gets it through. Match point now for Shrimp and Shrimpers. This is a really dicey situation for Platinum Horde. They need to play the next 3 points perfectly if they want to even have a chance at coming back.
Yeah, they do have Hop the Frog does have a flip, but Steam Whistle is getting one soon too. First barrier going through. It's going to be a very, very, good start, but we know that can change very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Steam Whistle, unfortunately, a bit of a late start on the kickoff there. I think he might have spilled some, Tim Hortons on his keyboard or something. But Hop the Frog coming in. Unfortunately, actually, Hop the Frog took Maxels, and Chicken Tendy's the one who took Slicks. And hindsight 2020 here, I don't think this was the vision they were going for. Unfortunately, it has resulted in Chicken Tendy's being unable to touch the core and slowly being knocked out, while Hop the Frog is left to dribble against Steam Whistle, but is unable to take advantage of the speed because the Maxels won't boost your speed no matter how fast you're going. But nice pass flurry coming out, Kitten Roller coming back to defend, and Hop the Frog just pushes it through Steam Whistle with that primary layered on as well. So really nice play here from Platinum Horde. They are indeed playing this point perfectly as they are playing for their tournament lives here.
Yeah, that is one brief sign of life. Need 2 more to kind of really get back in it. That's a good start. Gets 1 kill, but they take 1 barrier for it. Don't know if that was worth it personally. Hop the Frog getting very big. They are trying to play lights out. They have to, and like we've been saying, they have to now. They have to try and kind of push this, try and get another draft going, try and get some good awakenings, and hopefully try and get a different game plan going. If they can, there is a possibility, but they are still basically on a razor's edge.
Absolutely. Steam Whistle gets the core out, and Hop the Frog had to retreat from that offense now because he was brought low, and now Juggle Supreme being bullied off of his own orb by Braxton, and Hop the Frog coming to help. And Braxton's just okay, I'm gonna slice and dice you too, and Chicken Tendy saved by Celestial Intervention, but that does mean that Juggle Supreme is left with half stagger, no evade, and angry Zentaro, who has proved he is more than ready to bully this Atlas. But Braxton, unfortunately, maybe saving his skills for the core control, and nice angle from Steam Whistle. I'm sure if that was intentional by the emotes, but very, very cool. He is clean with it, that Dubu. And Braxton dashing in with the EI rush, and nice redirect from Kitten Roller with the Supernova. Actually delays it a little bit, so it bounces off the top instead of going into the goal, and then makes Jiggle Supreme have to second guess as he gets the rebound and gets it to the top corner of the net. That was absolutely crazy play at the last point by Kitten Ruler, as Shrimp and Shrimpers take the go for the qualifying match.
Yeah, just absolutely incredible performance by Shrimp and Shrimpers. They put their foot on the gas. They had lead foot and they did not let off. Just completely motored through them. Very nice on all their parts. Kitten Ruler definitely making absolutely sure that presence was felt. Supernovas on supernovas on supernovas. Breaks in constantly with a slice and dice, and Steam Whistle just holding up a big fat stop sign against the Platinum Horde. Walled them off and nothing doing for them.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful effort by the Platinum Horde, but unfortunately their run on week 2 ends here. They will also have to return on week 3. But Shrimp and Shrimpers, they move on to battle against La Creatura and for the qualifying match.
Welcome back once again, everyone. This is OSAS Season 12, Week 2, and we are once again going into it. Shrimp and Shrimpers, who just came off a very impressive win, are going to be facing La Critura, consisting of Doggy Toe, Striker Kiriyami, and Slime Slinger 24, pardon me. And we know a little bit about La Critura. They are very fierce, very, very capable. Pato, do tell,
Yes.
what are your thoughts on this?
I think that this is going to be a nice moment for La Critura to take revenge on their Swiss match round 3 because they met Shrimp and Shrimpers, actually, and the Shrimpers did beat La Critura to go on into the bracket stage as a 3-0 team. So, yeah, so La Critura will need to prove themselves to qualify, and that's, I think, a beautiful plot for them. But this is 1-2 punch, and on Atlas Labs, so we might see some killing combinations come out here again on the side of Shrimp and Shrimpers, and yeah, we'll see how La Critura deals with that.
Yep, definitely looking like this team comp is all about the pain. It's been work for them so far today, so I guess they see no reason to try and mix it up now.
Absolutely, and a great start from La Critura here as Striker Kuriyami putting Braixen down low already, and Braixen had to retreat all the way to the other side of the field to get his orb. Unfortunately for La Critura, the top barrier does stand strong, as Striker Kuriyami does not seem to be able to make a dent into Steam Whistle's top barrier defense. One interesting thing I do see is that nobody took recovery drone here, and Braixen might pay for that as he gets taken off the field now. And Striker Kuriyami with the Van Brace. Drakar also taken off the field, but this time Slime Slinger 24 putting in that Atlas special to work. The Celestial Intervention saving Striker Kuriyami from certain death as he is brought back. So open barrier state for Shrimp and Shrimpers, and Striker Slime Slinger forced to use his flip. Unfortunately, that was a rough situation here, but no problem. The Gito's got the back, the piercing shot getting through to Luna, and 1-0 lead for La Critura.
Definitely and very nice positioning on their part for La Critura. Nice, strong start. They're going to need more of that, though, if they want to make it through. Doggy Toes, we know, can get those shots off. We know Striker Kuriyami is always standing and ready, but the question is, can they withstand kind of like this onslaught that's, you know, Shrimp and Shrimpers got? And that's a nice start.
Yeah, well worth the barrier, I would say, because Steam Whistle, the goalie for Shrimp and Shrimpers, is taken off the field, and Kenton Ruler brought low, and Atlas Lab is so dangerous with the Black Hole. Slime Slinger just healed himself up with the Celestial Intervention. Does mean that it's going to be on a pretty high cooldown for the foreseeable future, though. And Steam Whistle on his favorite, the Luna, and pretty good clearing so far, but at some point, right, Luna's will fall to the brawler sitting on their face. So we'll have to see if Braixen and Kitten Ruler can make sure the offense stays on the other side of the field and let Steam Whistle use his skills aggressively, the favorite way that the Luna wants to use their skills. And Braixen here saving his strike shot, and unfortunately, Kitten Ruler is the one using it, and Braixen slices and dices, gets it past Slime Slinger 24, and 1-1 tied up is the Shrimp and Shrimpers.
Yeah, very nice on Shrimp and Shrimpers' part. Keep with that one. Kitten Ruler constantly kind of like an ever-present problem, but kind of like that's Finny in general for you. So they're definitely going to have to try and navigate that as these bottom two barriers get taken. Striker Kuriyami, like you said, in the face of the Lunas, constantly as well as a threat. I feel like La Critura can absolutely make basically like surprise shots from like downtown, basically win a lot of strike wars in the blink of an eye, and it's going to be on Shrimp and Shrimpers to basically keep an eye out for that and be ready to react very quickly.
Yeah, every outclear could be a point for La Critura, as Striker Kuriyami actually wants to take advantage of that with a great shotgun. Unfortunately, it's a little too short right now. Braixen slightly late on the core flip. Slime Slinger gets the priority on that, and now he's brought low, punished for that aggressive core flip that didn't work out. And now Steam Whistle, he has core flip. He's using it, trying to get past Slime Slinger, but a little bit more passive play coming out from Doggitos ensures that we see a clear coming out from La Creatura. But barriers are open on both sides now. Breaks in 1v1 situation with Slime Singer. Celestial Expanse coming out, clearing the core. And now Steam Whistle caught between a rock and a hard place. And the Celestial and the Crystal Thorns get it through. 1-2 for Shrimpers. And a good lead now coming in for Creatura.
Yeah, again, like La Creatura are basically doing their absolute best to stay with this core. It's moving fast, it's moving a little bit erratically, and they're doing their best to kind of like control where it goes, even with like a lot of this potential interference that Shrimp and Shrimpers can run, in addition to kind of like that damage that they've got going on. So as long as they can basically keep this, not falter in the face of all this, you know, this pain and this trouble, they will have a path to victory.
Yeah, a couple of good plays I'm seeing from La Creatura. We're seeing Kitten Roller continuing to be brought low. We're seeing Kitten Roller's Vice actually being banned, and Atlas being picked from Slime Slinger, making sure La Creatura actually is winning in the damage department. And we're seeing this here as the Luna nuke comes down. Unfortunately, Kitten Roller is hard pressed to find a play because he is brought low right now with the stagger, and Striker Kuriyami able to take advantage, making sure that Kitten Roller is stayed low, and Braixen has to almost mid-field here. And Steam Whistle, he is so scared to out-clear, rightfully so, but now with the Piercing Shotgun and the Shotgun Shotgun, he can out-clear to Braixen, who has to use his special to clear, though. And Kitten Roller bringing Doggitos low, and oh, unexpected! Centauro passive coming in. Oh, that was so scary there with the Drakkar special, though, slowing down Steam Whistle just enough. But the core flip from Kitten Roller tying up 2-2 Shrimp and Shrimpers. This first set's looking very competitive.
Yeah, they are trading blows back and forth, and good on them for being able to keep the pressure up. This is only set 1, though. It's when this draft comes in that is going to, I feel like, start making a lot of difference, especially if we get a few best in slots, and I do not mean the channel.
I mean, yeah, I think Missile Pro hasn't come up yet. Deadeye hasn't come up yet. I think Steam Whistle has set up the Luna goalie so that he can kind of contest Striker Kuriyami's best picks, right? Because Missile Pro and Deadeye both are things that Luna wants as well. But well, that thought because Striker Kuriyami coming in to hunt down Kitten Roller, which Kitten Roller dodges the shotgun, and Striker Kuriyami does get priority on the strike, but now he is brought low. The piercing shot coming in, nice strike war from Steam Whistle, and Kitten Roller brought down low. The shotgun is enough to kill him, and Slime Singer presumably waiting with the Celestial intervention just in case Striker Kuriyami is taken off, but the nice piercing shot from the Doggitos gets the core past Steam Whistle once again for a 1-0 set lead for La Creatura.
Very nice. They are playing on fire right now. I think La Creatura, you mentioned it earlier, they recognize that this is their opportunity for retribution, and they are trying to grab it with both hands.
Absolutely, and we see a lot of cool awakenings here. We have Monumentalist, but bulk up taken from the Atlas. I think that's amazing. Reptile coming in from Steam. And I think a lot of high-value awakenings that the fours would have liked have gone to the goalies, but this does mean that Monumentalist is taken by Fini. And although Fight or Flight went over to Striker Kuriyami, Braixen's probably pretty happy with the Among Titans pickup because he's gonna like the speed. Centauro is one of the brawlers that, you know, doesn't hate being small compared to other characters. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out.
No, I agree. Just like how Centauro can move and like the abilities they got. Yeah, being small is not quite as dangerous for him as it can be for several others. It doesn't really change crap as much about their game plan, I believe. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody in chat will correct me, but right now we do have goals open, and it definitely is clear that Shrimp and Shrimpers are not going to let that first set dictate how things are going to end for them.
Yeah, I mean, great dribble by Braixen there, uses the EI rush, kind of deflects and doesn't go for the goal because he knows that Slime Singer and Doggitos are both there ready, so he deflects to the wall once again to look for a second shot. And that's just amazing patience coming out from Shrimp and Shrimpers, even though that didn't necessarily lead to goal. But unfortunately, Steam Whistle loses sight of Striker Kuriyami. Kitten Roller uses the flip to save Steam Whistle's goal. And now Braixen gets the core through the Atlas with the EI rush. And very nice first point on the second set for Shrimp and Shrimpers.
Yeah, tried to go for like a clear and was right there. Braixen just was able to intercept that, get that in real fast, and they're going to need more than that if they're going to get a set on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Shrimpers have beaten La Creatura on Swiss set 3, so they have it in them. So if they lock in, I truly believe that this is anyone's game. Striker Karami brought low. Unfortunately, the Black Hole combined with the core flip sends Breakson flying off the field. And once again, it's Kitten Ruler and Steam Whistle being put on the defense, which is exactly where they don't want to be. And the Crystal Thorns making sure the offense continues on the side of La Creatura here. The Slime Slinger perhaps straying a little too far ahead. Astral Projection saving him though, and now Core Flip on the side of the Gitos. The Black Hole kind of throwing him off. Striker Kuriyami unfortunately did not have the range just yet. Dogito's using the flip, gets past Kitten Roller. Kitten Roller saves it at the nick of time, and the piercing shot, the stun not quite long enough as Breakson dashing in now with the EI rush, but this is Slime Slinger with all his skills, I believe, as well as Core Flip. So it's their goal to get the Celestial Expanse now, and a nice Soaring angle from Steam Whistle. You can see him really locked in. Unfortunately, Breakson has to go off the field a second time, I believe, on this point, as Steam Whistle has to fight against Striker Kuriyami and the shotgun, just sealing the deal here. 1-1, tying it up.
That was honestly an insane point. So credit to Shrimp and Shrimpers for fighting it out for that long, but a little bit more credit for La Couture for being able to actually finish it. Just beautiful passes and being able to be in the right position to knock that one in for La Creatura. They really do want this one. They are playing amazingly with like all the passes and being able to and trying to contest clears in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Striker Kuriyami greeted a little there for the double barrier. Unfortunately, Steam Whistle uses that to hold both of his barriers. Breakson being knocked around. Double specials used from the side of La Creatura. Unfortunately, Breakson survives that and lives on. That a little bit of extra speed helping him huge here. And Kitten Ruler trying to get the core over to Breakson, who does use a special here. He has Centauro passive, almost gets past Slime Slinger, and oh, slightly too quick maybe along with the small size of Among Titans. Breakson was unable to get that core and able to put the prize in the bag. And now both teams' barriers are wide open now. Kitten Ruler timing it through, and Slime Slinger unfortunately clears it to Breakson in the moment of panic, and Breakson just capitalizes on it.
Yeah, the speed came out of the big finish, and Slime Slinger was just like, I gotta get this away from me, I gotta clear it out, but no, it was waiting for it.
Absolutely, and Astral Projection and the Expanse both coming out. This is a really scary moment for La Coutura as Shrimp and Shrimpers look to take the second set in style. Wonderful play coming out from Breakson.
Yeah, very fast one in comparison to what was the norm this game. As Kitten Ruler coming out with the MVP, and I see Deadeye and Missile Prop, and there's a lot there on the table for this team, Shrimp and Shrimpers.
Yeah, so it looks like Missile Pro is denied from the Drakkar, and I think that's absolutely correct, right? We don't want to see Striker Kuriyami taking that on the Drakkar. Twin Drive coming out as there is no Super Surge, but this does mean Drakkar gets Prime Time and Luna gets Spark of Focus. So, I mean, as the dust settles here, P-Player, who do you think got the better end of the deal in the draft?
Honestly, I'm actually going to say La Creatura just because of the added pressure they're going to be able to put on. I have actually seen Atlas with Prime Time do, well, not damage, but be surprisingly, like, any damage is good damage, and that's still taking on some damage.
I see. Yeah. So Atlas with Deadeye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes sense to me. I think it's gonna be really scary. I think. Oh, but I mean, I think if Breakson gets the core in the goal,
like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think no matter what awakening you take, yeah, it's gonna be rough. But yeah, I think it's a really cool draft from both teams. I don't think it was a draft necessarily that Kitten Ruler might have wanted there, but I mean, Missile Pro's not bad on Vinny, like Vinny midfield. Like it's gonna work out. So yeah, so Shrimp and Shrimpers again taking the lead 1-0 on the third set, and we're seeing Breakson use a nice special to get around the Astral Projection, and now, oh my goodness, that Monumentalist Vinny, big finish, dashing in. Slime Slinger 24 though is ready for it. Steam Whistle trying to get a little bit fancy. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out. And wins against the Crystal Thorns with the Luna Missile. Unfortunately, Striker Kuriyami also there layering on the heat, and Steam Whistle has to use his energy burst as Slime Slinger trying to use the Astral Projection with the read, and Breakson smartly keeps it at the bottom side. And now big finish from the Finny. Very scary answers with a core flip of his own. Does Kitten Roller takes Dogitos off the field. Slime Slinger was not ready for it in the core with an interesting bounce. Great shot from Steam Whistle, getting a quick 2-0 set lead.
Yeah, Kitten Roller with the card. Want to see a magic trick? Make you disappear. And with Steam Whistle backing up, Rocket just let it fly. Very nice shot. Very nice point. Shrimp and Shrimpers looking solid. La Creatura far from out of it. Nope, yep, Doggy Toes definitely wanting to answer that one back, and they might La Creatura.
Yeah, I mean, Slime Slinger 24, great recovery on that, and now mixing up Steam Whistle with the Crystal Thorns and the Molten Blast, I believe, is the Drakkar special, and gets it through, yeah. Just
very, like, turn Steam Whistle round and round for a second there, but that's exactly what they wanted. That's what they got. And so they are on the board. They are looking to try and take this one, get up into that lead. That is a good start for them, La Creatura. They need to keep that up, and they will be sitting very pretty.
Yeah, Kitten Roller going for Outclear. Unfortunately, Outclear is always dangerous against Estelle. And the Drakkar, honestly, they have just 0 Outclear chances all the time. Oh, unfortunately, another stack up on the bottom of the field. And Dogitos, yeah, going to seal the deal there with the core flip. And Shrimp and Shrimpers, they can't afford to bleed out their strikers like this. They have to, all 3 of them have to stay on the field and take up space.
Yeah, no, they're kind of like staggering. And because all of them are basically so good at, I feel like, what they do, the loss of any one of them for any given period of time is compounded. Absolutely. So have to be careful of that. And meanwhile, yeah, like you just saw, I was actually about to bring that up. Atlas, they do have a little bit of recovery in there in that ultimate. So that's just a lot harder that Shrimp and Shrimpers has to work in order to make those kills stick.
Yeah, unfortunate angle. Steam Whistle does lose both barriers now because of that. And, oh, great core speed coming out from Slime Slinger. And a 2-1 set lead now coming out from La Creatura as they look to be on set point against the team that beat them on Swiss stage.
Yeah, they definitely want vengeance here as we go into draft. I am seeing a couple of interesting ones. Prize Fighter, stacks on stacks, heavy impact, and maybe even one of those sparks if Luna really thinks they can build Spark. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, right now, Finny took stacks. He wants a little bit more control, which makes a lot of sense. And yeah, Luna definitely here has to take Spark of Strength as spec training's out and heavy impact doesn't really do anything. So this does mean that Zentaro gets to take heavy impact. And I get it. I get Striker Kuriyami's mindset, right? But he did take explosive entrance over heavy impact. How do you feel about that, PJ?
No, sir. I don't like it.
Oh, I mean,
they do. Clearly.
Great. Yeah. I mean, amazing play, just wiping the field with the Shrimp and Shrimpers' dead bodies is La Creatura as they look to take a commanding lead or a commanding momentum build position on set 4. And Shrimp and Shrimpers, they have to tighten up here. They have to start living, or else this might be the second time they go home on the qualifying match of their weekly qualifiers.
Yeah, they don't want that. Doggy Toes is a very dangerous sniper, though. Now got full stacks Prize Fighter. Watch your heads, folks.
Yeah, Kitten Roller making his low stagger work, though, as he takes a Strike War win over Slime Slinger and gets the lower barrier. And now Striker Kuriyami using his secondary to sneak in, but Steam Whistle wins the Strike War and now breaks in, coming in, and Kitten Roller, nice primary, the misdirection coming in and tying up the score 1-1. Shrimp and Shrimpers are a top tier team. They can do it, and they're showing their potential here.
Yeah, absolutely. They have, I do believe that they have like every ability in the world. They were doing pretty hot. Like, again, like last game was great. This game is not even like they're doing like bad. It's just, it feels like La Creatura managed to find the draft that they need and have just been getting like a lot of good plays, a lot of good passes around, and have just been finding these big, you know, like anti-clear situations with both of these characters that they have, like I mentioned, like you mentioned, in Estelle and Drakkar, just able to really challenge if they aren't clever with kind of like the clear outs.
Yeah, Bryson forced to burn his flip there to survive as Dagito's almost taken off the field and has to use his flip against, and Steam Whistle also has to use his flip because he was slightly out of position, and now the lower lane fight ends with Brayson's death, and Celestial Interventionist of course slows down, but Steam Whistle, I believe he has one missile, and now the second attack, he staves it off once more, and now the dash is back, and he gets the core through Slime Slinger's Astral Projection somehow, and now Brayson's back. But Striker Kuriyami is on the hunt, and now Kitten Ruler with full energy is taken off the field as once again the power play continues on the side of Lakritura. And and Slime Slinger clears that, and unfortunately baited into the low wall with Steam Whistle and taken off the field.
Good gracious, Doggy Toes has just been... Doggy Toes has been popping heads all day now that they got that. Now that after that draft, so it's just very dangerous. And honestly, you can say all you want about strategy, but sometimes it really does come down to numbers, and you got to be careful when you're down a person. It's never going to be kind of like an easy road. It can be a lucky road, but not an easy one.
Yeah, absolutely, and this time Steam Whistle dodges the piercing shot. I believe that was another setup ready to kill Steam Whistle. But he does live. Kitten Ruler brought low once again, though, and this is match point coming in. Brayson has to come in with a slice and dice to save. Nice dodge on the shotgun as well as Shrimpers live another sequence, and this time is Slime Slinger taken off the field, and this could lead to some value for Shrimpers. Unfortunately, Doggitos and Striker Kuriyami band together to hold the net, and now coming in is Striker Kuriyami with the Dracard. Brayson blocks the shotgun. Unfortunately, Steam Whistle almost taken off the field. Does live. Slime Slinger is back with his abilities. With the strike shot with the expanse is used, and now Steam Whistle saves but loses the strike war against Striker Kuriyami, and that's it. Lakritura beat Shrimpers to qualify for OSAS finale.
I have to imagine that feels real good for Lakritura. Just that incredible play from all three of them. But yeah, Doggy Toes going on an absolute tear in the latter half of that match, just sniping everyone under the sun. I mean, look at the stats here. 10 KOs, not half bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, Slime Slinger holding down the offense of Kitten Ruler and Brayson, while the Gitos and Striker Kuriyami constantly redirecting the core to the lower half of the field, ensuring that either or Kitten Ruler or Steam Whistle stays dead. I mean, played a really integral part in Lakritura taking their revenge victory and qualifying for OSAS finale.
Yeah, so that was absolutely fantastic, brutal, but we're still not quite done. Coming up next, I believe, is we will be following up again with Dream Crush and Brawlwing. Please tell me I got that right. We will find out after this break.
Hello, welcome back to OSAS 12 Week 2, final game of the night between Dream Crush and Brawlwing. And Brawlwing, who has Mandrake, TF2 Nub, and Damney against Dream Crush. We've seen them once again before, Mingo, Imperial Simp, and Mythic Actuary. And we're going to be seeing I think a really fun game between these two players. I believe Mandrake and TF2 Nub have come from a Chikara team last season, and it looks like they have, they were Chikara Unks, and they left, I guess, to start their own team and have incorporated Damney, who is a really solid brawler, into their team. And meanwhile, we see Dream Crush coming in. And P-Flair, tell me more about what you think is going to happen.
Honestly, just looking at this team build and where we're going, Night Market, I think what's going to happen is that there is going to be a lot of speed to go around. I mean, I am not surprised at all whatsoever that Era and Mako got picked on this map. The general rule of thumb seems to just be kind of like outspeed everyone, and with that big fish that everyone but the Dubu took, I fully expect these lanes to get clogged very, very fast and very, very often.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like Mythic Actuary and Imperial Simp are cooking up something with this new brawler on the field. It's up to Mandrake with the Pauldron's Era to kind of hold that level of creation aggression coming out. But it looks like the first team to take the barrier is going to be Brawlwing here, as Mandrake expertly stalling the core a little bit, waits for TF2 Nub to come back, and they push it out along with Damney now. With the enemy turret coming out, unfortunately, the turret didn't do too much, especially with Mingo powering up his secondary, and a great angle for Mingo to clear. Unfortunately, that does mean that Damney gets a second chance, and this time he makes it work, and Damney gets the Estelle off the field. Imperial Simp gone for another 9 seconds, dribbling a little bit, but Mythic Actuary locking down that lane, making sure that TF2 Nub and Mandrake can't get it through to Damney to complete that aggression. Now Xenocode comes in, as well as the Cyber Swipe, but Mythic Actuary still here, still on the Dubu, still walking around, and it's Imperial Simp's turn to get it through. Mandrake almost takes Imperial Simp off the field with the Era Storm, but this time it's Mythic Actuary trying to get around Mandrake. A narrow save from Mingo as the core goes fast. Law comes in, and a save again, but Imperial Simp gets it through. 1-0 set lead, 1-0 point lead for Dream Crush.
Yeah, very nice on their part. Beautiful shot from Imperial Simp. And pretty much like I expected, this one is going to get very fast, very furious, very quick. I'm not 100% positive about the... Never mind, I was about to say I'm not 100% positive about the damage. And then someone died. The hamster go boom. So who knows about that front as they push the core through TF2 Nub. Very nice. This one, I think, is going to be fast and furious in every respect.
Yeah, I mean, Damney, you have to respect the Pummeler's Ricard. That's his whole shtick, trying to get you with that knockback off the field. And I think Actuary, unfortunately, didn't kind of feel it in the flesh yet, and it took him an expensive lesson, but it looks like he learned it, as he is kind of making sure to stay in tandem, stay safe with Imperial Simp, who might go off the field now. The Molten Volt, along with the shotgun, unfortunately does not finish off Imperial Simp, who has no energy though, but is in control of the Night Market Gates, gives it up to defend. Mythic Actuary does take Night Market Gates though, so the control was still on Dream Crush, as Mingo uses the special onto Damney to stun him, but the Cyber Swipe once again, TF2 Nub throws Mingo off.
Yeah, TF2 Nub just dialed it up, and Cyber Swipe straight to Mingo. Was not quite on target. Like, the core actually got past him, you know, there's like once that Ensnare drums went off, and from there it was kind of like a scramble. It was kind of like, oh crud, I need to get to the core, and just wasn't able to catch it. So it's something that they're gonna have to definitely reconsider in the future. Like, I can get being eager for like the Ensnare drums, but you gotta watch it. But that was just good anti-clear right there. That was just good counterplay as they take the set. Very nice.
Yeah, we go into draft as Mandrake. 2 aggressive plays, taking barrier, taking the goal. Very good play, and he deserves this first pick part in the draft. So what do you see, P-Flair?
Honestly, Super Surge is one of the first things I see, as well as maybe even like Recovery Drone, get something even more for in any of these brawlers really, but it doesn't quite seem like that's happening. We're seeing aerials, Might of the Colossus for Era, which will be fun.
Yeah, I mean, Mandrake did take Pauldrons and Big Fish, so he actually has quite a bit of power now. 155 power, not something to sneeze at, especially with the Era Beam coming out. So that is actually a nice play from Mandrake as, the recovery drone immediately taken off of Mythic Actuary, but does get the barrier for it in return. And TF Tune-Up, great control, but Mythic Actuary swipes the core right off of him and gets it through with the Tofu Fortress. Unfortunately, the Tofu Fortress can be a little fickle in the way it redirects the core, and that results in a good play on the side of Brawling here as they look to equalize the barrier count. But nice Mako secondary gets it through, and a really interesting redirect coming out. Mandrake does hold, though, and Imperial Simp playing good control here as TF Tune-Up cyber swipes in. Unfortunately, puts it off a little bit, unpunished for it, though, as the Aimi turret comes down and Mythic Actuary gets taken off the field by Damney, who has the pummeler speed now to take advantage of. And now is body blocking Mingo from using his primary to disturb any interactions he can have, and a nice flip use. Imperial Simp caught off guard, and now Mingo has to deal with an open net, and Imperial Simp might be taken off the field, actually, but great primary from Estelle, making sure that the core stays safe. And nice secondary as well. Unfortunately, the flip wasn't quite on there, and now Damney can take full advantage of it, taken off the field. 4 KOs already, and this is just the second set. The game is just beginning, and Mingo holds once, holds twice, and Damney is always there. And nice Mako Cage is going to stymie the aggression for now, but the Aimi turret, really unfortunate. But the core flip coming in does not finish it, as Mythic Actuary trying to get it through, and the Strike War can't win them forever. Damney, 1-0 lead.
Yeah, that was insane from both teams. The hold on the part of Dream Crush, just very persistent. Did not want to let that one go, but Damney was just in two good positions. TF2 Nub had just like too much backup. They all really kind of like stepped up on that one. For that point, did Brawling. So that kind of aggression is hard to throw off forever. They couldn't quite take advantage of their defensive positioning, and so eventually they had to crack.
Yeah, Imperial Simp, nice piercing shot on the bottom barrier, now looking to sync up with Mythic Actuary, who is actually caught up on the midfield trying to fight against Damney. And this does result in a lot of ground being lost. Damney wins the Strike War with a shotgun, and TF Tune-Up also there with an opportune cyber swipe. Mythic Actuary unfortunately using the Tofu Fortress, and now TF Tune-Up getting it in the top corner again and again. Damney dashing in with a Xeno Cloak, and Imperial Simp does stave him off because of his low stagger, but this Aerostorm doing a number on Mythic Actuary. Mandrake with the flip, and TF Tune-Up killing the goalie for Dream Crush out, and now Imperial Simp uses great flip usage, but they are still in need of another player. Now coming out is Mingo. Mythic Actuary waits out everything but the strike from Damney, wins the Strike War, and 2-0 lead from Brawling.
That was incredible patience from Damney. The flip went out, and there was looking to be a bit of a stare down, but Damney said, "You're gonna flinch." Pop! Got it. And Mythic Actuary just did not react in time for that one. Very nice on the part of Damney. Just being this constant, ever-present like threat and thorn in the side of the backfield, and that just causing them to constantly have to like consider that, as well as doing that, just coming up, wanting to make full use of those pummelers, hunting for those KOs. Like a thief in the night they go, but like champions they score. That is another set in the books.
Yeah, I mean, Mingo just caught in unexpected positions, just getting abilities layered on top of him, and unfortunately, not enough time for him to press evade. And set 2, set 3 draft coming in, and lots of cool awakenings, right, P-Player?
I'm not surprised at the fighter flight. I am looking at the built different extra special, which is get taken, and quite possibly explosive entrance.
Yeah, this does mean Mingo gets 2 dash awakenings on his secondary, which will buff Imperial Simp and Mythic Actuary quite a bit. And Mythic Actuary does pick up a second size awakening here. Although this does mean that Damney and TF Tune-Up have a lot more speed with the stacks. And immediately though, Damney getting taken off the field. This is quite a new direction that this game has been taking. Usually, Damney has been the one doing the knocking people off the field thing, and not the getting knocked off the field thing. But Mythic Ashray, nice push now, and he needs that level to get up that Dubu stagger, or else he's going to be continue to be bullied forever. Unfortunately, Mandrake, nice primary shrinking beam onto Mythic Actuary, making sure that he can't put that size to good use. And Mingo contesting TF2 waiting. That's 2 Dash Awakening secondary coming in clutch, as Mythic Actuary can actually come in and play defensive as well with that amount of speed. But Mandrake does lose the second barrier now, and it is up to Dream Crush to link this into a goal, as Imperial Simp and Mythic Actuary both meet on the top lane. Mandrake with the core flip now, looking to play aggressively. His aggressive plays have shown a lot of value generated for Brawling, and it might come in handy this time as well, as a Tofu Fortress actually knocks the full energy era off the field, and unfortunate redirect coming out on the bottom side of the field means Mythic Actuary can get the goal in.
That is a massive hamster, and making sure they put it all to good use, as the side of Dream Crush looking very, very well topped off on flips, on energy. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, not quite as looking good for Brawling. You can tell they are hunting for like good opportunities. They are definitely going to want to make the most of that energy advantage. There goes one flip. There goes one barrier. Yep, there, and blew it out. Very nice. Just said, we got the energy. We need a point. Forget it. Let's just get it. Let's just get ahead in this one. Spend the cash while you have it. Don't save it for next game.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, definitely better to get a point than to get taken off the field without using their energy flips. But this does mean that Damney and TF2 Nub will get their own chances at using a core flip offense, as Mythic actually dribbles to the top lane, but TF2 Nub there to answer with the Cyber Swipe. Unfortunately, Tofu Fortress working against Dream Crush a little bit. Imperial Sim coming up to help with the Night Market Speed Gate, but unfortunately doesn't go there fully, and the nice roll onto TF2 Nub. Unfortunately, the power not quite there, but the Aimi turret is forced out because of this, and Mythic Actuary rotating around the Cyber Swipe and the shotgun from Damney, making sure that the recovery drone is taken off now. But they are at a 2-0 lead now, so if they can get this point, Dream Crush, that recovery drone getting taken off isn't going to matter at all. And the Era Storm is a really scary force to deal with. Mythic Actuary getting a little bit trigger happy there, unfortunately, almost getting taken off the field, but does survive. Imperial Simp now is brought low with only 1 stack of evade now, as Damney constantly on the hunt, constantly controlling the orbs and the gates, and Dream Crush controlling with the piercing shot, but gets it through Imperial Simp. Unfortunately, the core slips through, and 1-2 coming back is Brawling.
Yeah, Imperial Simp tried to clear it out. Damney managed to catch it and take advantage, but I would hope / don't think that it's going to be as big of a concern. They do still have a point to kind of like play with. Do Dream Crush try and get some energy back, set up for one more goal, because all they need is one to kind of like get a set on and get some breathing room, but they've got to make that happen. Meanwhile, you can definitely see that Brawling want to kind of like close it out here and now as they get these gates open.
Yeah, and that's a really good point for Brawling. TF2 Nub Cyber swiping in, gets the point. I mean, people, there's a 2-2 situation. This is match point for Brawling. Yep. They can qualify here.
This could be it as we kick off. Brawling definitely looking to kind of close, well, not kind of, definitely looking to just close this out in this chapter of the story and move on. Meanwhile, Dream Crush fighting for their lives, fighting for their own dreams, looking rough, looking scary right now, but goal isn't in yet.
Yeah, no energy on Mingo or Imperial Simp, and Damney just knocking Mingo down low. Unfortunately, this the lower barrier lost for the side of Brawling on the other side of the field, and now Mythic Actuary has the rolls onto Mandrake, making sure he can't reach it, but Imperial Simp unfortunately wasn't in position to connect with the goal here, and now Damney misses the shotgun. This means an offensive play ready, and the strike shot blocked by the glitch pop, and Damney dribbling it around, looking for an angle. The Bolton Bolt goes astray, does hit Imperial Simp though, and looking for the out clear. Mythic Actuary too slow to be in position, and the shotgun is going to get it to slip through. The strike war wins from Damney, and 3-0 set victory from Brawling to qualify.
Just very impressive. Nice win on that strike wire to lock this one up. It is Brawling that are moving on. They are qualifying. Dream Crush, I'm not going to give the obvious pun. I'm just going to say it was unfortunate. They tried very hard. They pushed things as well as they could. And we saw Dream Crush earlier. We know they got Moxie, but it wasn't in the cards for them this match, this event. They're going to have to they're definitely going to have to go back and look and see what happened with this one, where they went wrong, where they can clean up.
That's right. OSAS 12, only 2 teams from each week qualify. So only 8 teams total are going to be at the finals. So Shrimp and Shrimpers and Dream Crush. Unfortunately, no third place match tonight. This is the last one. So thank you for casting with me, P Flair. I appreciate it. And I think that's it for us.
Yeah, that'll be it for us. We will see y'all soon. More Omega Strikers. Get hyped for the finals, I think. That's going to be fun. Not done yet.